And we are live. What is going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. I just realized that I think I might have my delay settings set up incorrectly again. It looks like there's like a 20-second delay between the stream and actually the video going into here, so I can't actually change it. I'm gonna lower the music too as well on my end. It is a little loud. I can't change it during the stream, unfortunately, so it is what it is, but I'll try to remember to change that next week. So happy Wednesday. Welcome to stream number 9. This has been a big series and still have quite a ways to go with the enclosure. I'm not sure whether I'll do the enclosure on stream or whether we'll just kind of wrap it up soon here. We'll kind of see how it goes, but let me take a moment to say hello to everybody. Let's see, RS, how's it going? Shrimp Father's here. Hobo Banana. We got Abus in the house. It's iBoss, right? I always want to say Ebus, but I'm pretty sure it's iBoss. Welcome. Thank you for being here. For anyone that doesn't know, iBoss recently released a pretty cool add-on for the original AMS, and I have a video coming out on it soon-ish. This Saturday, I think I'm taking off of a video because last week I just was working until like really last minute, so I usually do like 2 on, 1 off. But I can show it since it's no longer like secret or hidden. But here is my converted AMS system. So it's got dryers for each slot and vents that go up in the back to basically release moisture. It's pretty freaking sweet, especially for anyone that has an original AMS. I know a lot of people here do have bamboo printers. To not have to dry filament and then install it and take it in and out, but like to be able to either dry or at least maintain that same level of moisture in the filament in here. So be looking out for a video on this. So this is pretty cool. I know that iBoss has been working on it for a long time because we started talking about this. I don't remember, but I want to say it's coming up on a year, maybe. I don't know. It's been a long time since you first mentioned that you were working on creating one of these. So hey Matt, how's it going? Dark Third Dimension, hello. Clownhammer, Lord Gitface, Glock's here. I think I said Hope already, but if not, hello. Jason, hope everyone is doing awesome. Apologies in advance. I slept like crap last night. I told Aaron, I was like, I'll be in bed by 1, and I got into bed at like 1:15, tossed and turned to like 2:30 or 3, and then Jackson's been going through pretty serious sleep regression. So Jackson came into our room at like 3:30, 5:30, and then 7. So I've got coffee. I'm all smiles, but yeah, if I seem a little bit more out of it than normal, it's just sleep's been rough in this household right now. So hello Oliver, how's it going? Hasios, I think I said hi. I must have said hi to you. So we are picking up where we left off. Anyone that wasn't here last week, we finalized last week was pretty much all firmware flashing, and then we started doing the calibration side of things. Rob, thank you for the 17 months, man. Cheers, buddy. TGIW. Yes, halfway through the week. I hope everyone's week's been awesome. Hey, Steve. So yes, last week we started doing the calibration. We made some really good progress, and the game plan today is to hopefully finalize all calibration and run a first test print, which I don't see how we wouldn't be able to do that based off of how far along we are, but I will knock on wood just in case. Matt, thank you so much for the 32 months. You guys are awesome. Let's do Hadouken. So the only things I have as far as updates go from last week is I finally emailed Makertech with some feedback. The only feedback I really had was that the RH3Ds, you guys, I'm not gonna be able to get through the intro. Thank you so much for the support, man. The 15 months. I hope you were doing well. So the only things I feedback provided was regarding the wiring. I basically described the wiring as a rat's nest, and that based off of their guide, it seems like that's sort of how it's intended to be, and that because especially that there's no bottom panel, I really didn't like that. And so I described what I did by adding some cable raceways and using printed parts for the Nighthawk USB board, so that way they're not just like zip tied sideways, but they actually have a printed part that they sit inside of. I also mentioned that a couple of you in chat said it would be really nice to flash most of the electronics prior to mounting them, because as we saw last week, it was pretty awkward to have to reach the bottom of the printer as well as like hit the the boot or flash button on Eddy, as well as the tool headboard. So I did mention that. And then the other thing I brought up was the screen. For anyone that remembers last week, we had, I'm gonna end up turning this towards me in a second here. Probably just do it now. Sorry, my allergies are also doing wonderful things to me. So last week, I think we got this, did we do the screen last week as well? Maybe we did the screen and then we did the flashing, or did I do the screen before? I can't remember. But anyways, there's pretty mean glare, but the screen's not working. And since last week's stream, I looked into it a little bit more. I looked at the Pi 2's documentation from Big Tree Tech. I looked at the screen to see if I found anything. And I don't see any other settings to change. It's my understanding that it should at least be displaying something on here, even if it's just the console or terminal window, because I have it set to SPI and it's just not doing that. So, Aaron, hi hun, with baby number 2 on the way, I don't think restful nights are in our future. Well, not with that attitude, they're not, okay? This baby's gonna come out and sleep 8 hours. It's gonna be epic. So yeah, I have a feeling that this screen was probably DOA. It does have a red light on the back of it, so clearly the ribbon cable is giving it power. I did order yesterday. These are just additional like DSI cables, so I can try swapping out the cable to see if that fixes it, but I really don't think that's the case. But I'd love to be wrong, so I'm not gonna do that right now. We don't need that to be able to move forward with this, but the screen is the only thing that I'm having issues with at this point. So with that being said, let's power this on. Also, I did play around with docking and undocking the tools a little bit more. I noticed that there was a few cases where it wasn't grabbing the tools. So I don't exactly know why. The numbers I had entered in seemed to be correct, and so I played around a little bit more last night and got it. The only values I've changed from what we had last week was, hold on, this is on autofocus? Yes, it is, that's why it's snapping. The only thing I changed was the docking parameter, specifically on the tool 1 and tool 2. So this is 0, 1, 2. I have these two, when it drops it off, it moves in 1 millimeter further than when it grabs it. Because I noticed that when it was releasing it, there was like a click sound from where it was basically seating with the magnet. So I just brought them a little bit closer to their magnet. So the first thing we'll do here before anything else is just run through the docks. Oh man, my allergies. Sorry everyone. I know that probably listening to me sniffle is not the dream. So let me go ahead and home X. I also moved the CPAP tube a little bit, so that way it still sags and falls, but it should prevent it from being able to fall like between the rail when it's homing. Okay, so let's try to grab, let's just go through all of them. So we'll do select tool 0. Cool, that worked. Let's dock tool 0. Hey Rev. Select tool 1. Okay. Dock tool 1. And then select tool 2. Cool. So we have successfully selected. Now let's dock tool 2. Yeah, watching it work is pretty wild. Watching it work is pretty freaking wild. I won't no argument from me on that. It's pretty sweet. So that is incredibly satisfying. So yeah, basically from that point, we will just go through the calibration, and we left off, we didn't have to PID. We just did this, testing, selecting, and docking. We did do the extruder tightening on all of them. If you remember last week, they were all smoking. We did the hot tightening. We did the Eddy probe status. Okay, so now it's bed tramming. Use an object as a spacer and manually turn the motors. Okay, so we are going to basically go ahead and grab tool. What did it say? Grab tool 1, right? Move. Select the first print head. So yeah, T0. So select T0. Okay. And then move the head to the front left. Okay, so we're basically just gonna manually move it, and I'm going to, how are we gonna do that actually? I think I'll disable all motors and just manually move it all by hand. That probably makes the most sense here. So let's go ahead and disable motors. Motors off. Okay, so what we will do, hey Ranch. Okay, so I'm just gonna zoom out for a sec and we will manually, we're basically wanting to set the, like level the 3 points on the bed to get it within a range. That way we make sure that the Eddy probe triggers. So this will take me a little bit here. Well, we can talk for a little bit while I do this. How's everybody's week going? I can't believe it. We're next Wednesday is, it'll be July when I see you guys next. That's so crazy. Was that a was that a block of post-it notes? Yes. Yeah. Yes, it was. I'm just gonna use a piece of paper. I don't really understand why they chose that as their example. It says that it needs to be within 5 millimeters, so maybe that's what that example was. Let me just read it really quick. We want the bed to be trimmed within around 5 millimeters. Yeah, so I guess it's basically saying it doesn't have to be super precise. So that's why they use that. I'm just going to use a piece of paper and get it within range, because it does have auto, you know, it's not quad gantry leveling, bed tilt as well as meshing. So it'll be able to compensate for, but I guess like it doesn't want it like this, right? If it's like this, then there's a chance the tool head will crash because the sensor won't be able to, are we not going up? Oh, we are. The sensor won't be able to detect it before it crashes. What's going on, RJ? Man, there's a lot going on here. Mostly good things, just busy between Lightburn stuff and YouTube stuff and having a 2-year-old and prepping for this other baby. But all good things, man. Like, I mean, just not enough hours in the day and not enough hours of sleep, but all in all, everyone is happy and healthy, so that's all we can ask for. Hey, Deanna. The bed started up pretty high, but after last week, every time you home X and Y, which we had to do a bunch of times while we were testing out the docking positions, every time it drops the bed like 10 millimeters. So yesterday it bottomed out, and every time I was homing X and Y, it would basically just like go da-da-da-da-da because it couldn't go any lower. So a lot of manual. Hopefully the only time we'll have to manually move this, really. I'm also finally gonna go pick up my splint. I still don't know if insurance is covering it, but I talked to the people today and they said if insurance just says we're not covering any of it, you'll be out of pocket $51. And I was like, my thumb is worth more than $51. That's fine. I will come down and get the splint. So, okay. So I've got that within a range. I'm gonna just grab a piece of paper. I'm not even gonna try to get like perfect height on this. I'm just going to, I thought I disabled, yeah, I did. Okay, so let's just get this. I mean, that's plenty close based off what I just saw with the post-its, right? So we'll just kind of get it within a range. I don't want it scraping. I mean, I don't even know if you need post-its. If you're just trying to get within 5 millimeters, I can just look at the nozzle, I suppose, right? I mean, I don't even think I need a piece of paper. This one is clearly a lot lower, so let's get this one up. And I probably should bring it back just to make sure, because it does have an effect on the other ones. Yeah, so we are starting to scrape now. Okay, that seems fine. Okay, I'm gonna call that all good enough. Okay, so chat really quick. Let's see, what did I miss? Sleep is overrated. I used to agree with that, but now I don't agree with that. I love sleep. I need sleep. How you read this? What? Hey, BBs. They've been making you wait weeks for... Yes. Yes. First it was that the place that I'm supposed to pick it up from said they didn't get the thing until the day I went there, but my doctor said I sent it over 4 days ago. And then they called me the next morning saying that it was ready, but they needed more information from the doctor so that way they can get that to the insurance. And then I didn't hear anything for 4 days, and I contact my doctor. Doctor says I didn't get anything. Wait, no, they put it in the wrong place, so let me get it back over. And then I call today and, you know, they're like, yeah, I still don't really know. So I'm like, great. My thumb still hurts. It's been like a month and a half or 2 months at this point. Like I've got to get this thing in a splint to see if I can get it to heal. Okay, so we did this. Now, before starting, ensure the flex plate is placed on the bed. Heat the first print head to 150 and bed to 80. So the bed's probably going to take a little bit longer to heat up. So let's start with that. So 80 here, and then extruder 1 or 0, I guess, 150. All right, we are heating. Hey, PC man. Yeah, the box turtle video was supposed to go out on Saturday, but holy cow, it took me like the difference in editing time from a 15 or 16 minute video and an 8-minute video is substantial, especially to have enough clips to like actually show what you're describing and make the video interesting. So it was like a 16-minute video, which I didn't realize it was going to be going into the whole thing. And so I was up super late Friday, trying to get it done for Saturday. I was like, it's just not happening. I'm not gonna stay up all night long. And so I was able to finally finish it Saturday, and I'm really happy with the way the video came together. It's always tough, like covering a project that you worked on, you know, on and off on like a stream for months, and then like covering context around it and experience. Like it's a lot to compact into something that is like something that people would want to watch that makes sense. So I'm really happy with the end of it, but it just took a lot. You ever build a rat rig? I was asked to build a demo for a local reseller. Stoked about that, actually. So we built the V Minion on stream, which is sort of like, I mean, it is a rat rig, but it's very different than, you know, the V Core line. And that went really smooth. The only area where I wasn't a big fan of, actually sort of similar to this, is the electronics felt like a bit of an afterthought with the whole side box, and it was just kind of a pain. But that's the only one I built. We have a V Core 4 that's been sitting in the garage for almost a year, maybe not quite a year, but like 8 or 9 months, that needs to have the tool head upgrade and another thing, and then the front panel still needs to get replaced. I cut the front panel, I had all the parts in place, but I have not been able to, like, I can't get it up the stairs, and that's a huge problem. So I'm gonna have to do it all in the garage. I'm almost debating on just streaming us doing that, so that way we actually can get it done. Especially, I have to get some kind of stream setup figured out in the next week or two in the garage, so that way we can start building that 5-stack printer. And so once I've got that situated, then we probably can do the V Core 4, like, it's not even an upgrade, but like bringing it up to the full release toolhead, because it was a sort of demo unit that went to Rocky Mountain with Rico. My sad story. I think I'm supposed to build the IDEX. Oh, that'll be sick. Yeah, that'll be super cool. What do you mean your sad story, Ranch? Okay, so we're at temperature. Move print head to the center and bring the bed close enough. Okay, hold on. Bring print head to the center and bring the bed close enough to the print head so that the Eddy probe can heat up. Wait for the Eddy probe's temp to reach mid-40s. Okay, we're pretty much there. I mean, that's pretty close to center of bed how I already had it. I mean, maybe it depends on whether we're going based, if we're considering the nozzle the center point, it is basically center. So let's see. To reach the mid 40s. So Eddy's at 37. You know what's probably not helping is the fact that this is not enclosed right now, and the AC is on. I guess we'll let it sit for another 2 minutes, but if it seems to stall around 38 to 40, then I might have to turn the AC off. Or once the AC the AC will kick off in probably the next minute. It should help with it climbing. FedEx, oh no! FedEx lost my Voron 2.4 shipment. How does that happen? That is such a big box. What does tracking say? Does tracking just say, like, it basically shows tracking updating, then all of a sudden there's a delay and then it's missing? And what is the outcome of that? I assume that there has to be some sort of, like, insurance or not compensation, but like, yeah, like insurance or compensation baked into it. That's awful. I'm really sorry to hear that. Hey, Lisa, make sure you hit the like. Yes, smash the like button. Okay, it is Big Tree Tech. The eddy current is still climbing, so it's at 40. It says it wants it to get to the mid 40s, so I think it won't take very long, especially as the AC shouldn't kick on, hopefully for a few more minutes. About to turn a fresh batch of ice cream? Oh my God, Deanna, that sounds delicious. I hope that, I mean, it's awful that they lost it, but I hope you at least are able to get the funds out of that from FedEx to at least replace it. I've had relatively good luck with shippers. Like, things take time, and I have had things where I've busted, but like as far as losing things, USPS has been the worst, and that's mostly been trading cards that I've sold via low value shipping methods, and everything in that has been sub $20 because the method that I use for these specific cards, like, it has to be under $20. The worst thing that's happened to me via shipping was, I want to say via FedEx as well, and I think I mentioned this before on here, but I had sent off a bunch of Japanese vintage Pokemon cards like 2 years ago to CGC in Florida, which is a grading company, and they took forever to grade them, and then they shipped them out, and I was streaming the day that they arrived, and I was so excited. Aaron got the door and like had to sign for the package, and I was so excited to get down the stream and go check out the cards and see them, and like, because I really like them. These are all ones I had gotten in from Japan, and I get the box and I'm holding it, and it sounds like it's filled with sand, and the entire package was completely obliterated. Like, I think there was 20 cards in there, and all but 3 were basically, you know, because in trading cards the value is in condition, they went from, you know, pretty valuable, or at least semi-valuable, to worth basically nothing. And so I had a fight with CGC and even threatened legal, like taking like legal escalation, which is something I never do. Like, I'm a very non-aggressive person, and I don't like doing stuff like that, but I felt like I was getting walked all over for months and months and months. And the end result was they did pay out insurance, and I ended up getting a $2,000 insurance basically claim from it. But man, the amount of time and energy that went into just getting like the value of what I had that was insured for that amount was absolutely horrible. I really hope that you don't have to go through that. Claim with FedEx in the seller. Oh, we're at temp. We're in mid 40s. Delivered to the wrong address and can't find it now. Fabrico must file for the reimbursement. Hector is looking for replacement. Do they know what address it was delivered to, so they could at least like approach the person? Hey, Simon. Okay, so as you can see here, it says wait for the temp to get to the mid 40s. We're clearly at mid 40s and approaching north of the 40s. Move print head, wait for the Eddy probe. We did that. Before starting, ensure the Eddy probe's temperatures. Yep. Next, send the following commands. Okay. So G28. I'm just gonna show you guys, I think probably this. So we do G28X and Y. And then we're sending a command called center. Okay. And now we are doing probe Eddy NG setup. Okay. And use the model that pops up to bring the bed up to the nozzle until you begin to feel friction. Okay. You don't have to be super precise for the paper test, just good enough is fine. Okay, so now you can see, I'll show you guys like on here, which a lot of you have seen, but it's basically just the little pop-up. And we are going to jog the bed up using this until we feel the nozzle. And I won't, it says you don't have to be super precise, so I will not be super precise. Let me get you guys a little bit closer. I think this one I can probably get you guys a good visual for. Build plate size on this, that is, oh, it's the ProForge 300. So it's 300 by 300 by 300. So 300, a big 300 cube. So, I mean, pretty decent size in my opinion. There we go. There was no link posted on Discord? What? There was totally a link. Yeah, there was a link. I'm looking at it right now. Part 9. They said it was delivered to a mailroom. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ranch. That sucks, dude. It's like, it's also like even worse when it's something that you're really excited about, you know? Is it, are we even going up? I can't tell. It feels, oh, we must be. Yeah, we are. Hey, Stuart. Yeah, I hope that Fabrico is able to get the situation figured out with FedEx and get you the machine, man. Because that's definitely, that's super frustrating and sad. Okay, so this is too close, probably. Okay, I'm gonna call that good enough. It's not rubbing, but like it says it doesn't have to be perfect, so I'm gonna hope that's fine. Well, it says until you feel friction, so let's actually let there be some friction. I won't go super precise, but let's at least make sure there is still some friction. Okay. There's a little bit of friction there. Okay, so we did that. Press accept when done. Okay. Okay. It says calibration saved. Issue a save config to write the values to your config and restart Clipper. I don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to start by just sending the tap command, which it looks like that's what it just did. So I don't know if something changed, but I'm going to send a tap command. Hey, Armor. Okay, so that says, upon a successful tap procedure. Okay, now we're gonna save config. I watched your PZ Bro video 6 times, but I can't get the probe to trigger. Interesting. Is the probe powered? Like, can you see light? I've had an issue on mine where, and I'm assuming this is just a me thing, where when I crimped some of the pins, I must have either not crimped them all or maybe the wires are just delicate. But I've had it where all of a sudden, like, it's not probing and I look at the board and it's not lit up anymore and it's not getting power at all. You're the same bad. Oh no. Oh no. Yeah, so I basically, did exactly what I did in the video, and once it lit up, so you're saying like even if you hit it with your hand, it's not lighting up? Because if that's the case, it makes me wonder, like, I would potentially try reseating the ribbon cable. But yeah, if that doesn't work, like the default value is fairly sensitive. I ended up actually changing mode after to the next value, which is slightly less sensitive, but if you're hitting it with your hand at the very least, like you should see a light flicker that's triggering it. If that's not the case, that sounds like something's wrong. Like, I'm not even saying like on your end, if it's not the ribbon cable and it has power, because really it's just ribbon cable and power is all it should need to work. The other two wires are just sending a signal back to your board so Clipper can interface with it. But yeah, if it's not like flashing when you hit it with your hand, the next thing I would say is maybe there's something wrong with that like the actual PZ, the piezo itself. Hey Kaidan, I can tap the probe with my hand and it stops. Oh, but it doesn't stop with the bed. Okay, well, okay. So if it works with your hand but doesn't work with the bed, have you tried the different modes on it? Because there's presets. Like if you press the button that's on the board, it'll cycle through different presets. The first preset is like, I think, wait, no, actually the first preset is the most sensitive, isn't it? Hey Benny, let me take one quick look for you, man, just while I got you here. E3D. The thing that I don't like is that you can't tell what mode you're in, I don't think. Like, I only know I'm in mode 1 because I've only pressed it once, but if I got into like mode 3, I wouldn't know when I'm back. Like, I would just have to keep playing around with it. So I'm like, this seems more sensitive. So it was under Help Center, and then it was under Revo support, and then it was under, there we go. Raspberry Pi pinout, PZ Pro board. Okay, so the sensitivity thresholds. Okay, so what you might need to do, default is 0 and the sensitivity threshold's 5. So lower number means higher sensitivity. This ended up being a little bit too sensitive to me. So I ended up going to 10. But if you press the button once, it'll cycle you to 10, twice it'll cycle you to 15, and 3 will cycle you to 1. As far as I understand, I think that this is the lowest sensitivity you can set. So I would try to get it to this, and if that doesn't work, I would probably reach out to E3D. I took the config right from them and even tried what you did by bumping the speed to 10. Oh, there should be 3 LEDs on the board that tell you the mode in binary. Got it. I didn't even know that. So I guess you can tell. So that's useful. But yeah, this is if it is on the preset 0, which is how it should ship, and you haven't touched that button and changed it, then I would say I would try preset 3 because that's going to be the most sensitive. And if that one also isn't working to trigger by the bed, I would probably reach out to E3D, honestly. That'd be my recommendation. So we did this. When printing, if you find your first layer too high or too low, you can adjust the tap adjust Z value. This value is designed to account for the flex the printer experiences when tapping. If the first layer is too low, increase this value. Okay. Z tilt adjust. Dock the print head by sending dock T0. Okay, so let's do this. So I imagine I have to home X and Y again because we did reset everything. Yeah, no worries, man. I mean, like, the stream channel is intended to, like, yes, do the thing and hang out, but I also, like, want it to be sort of, like, an open door policy where, like, if someone has the question, this is a way that you can kind of get to me. Obviously, I can't answer all questions, but it's like, yeah, this is a thing I just recently played around with a lot. And so if you're having an issue with it, I don't mind at least taking a few minutes to sort of try to help. Okay, so we did do that. And now, what is it saying? Send the dock, okay. Ensure the printer is homed, and then Z tilt adjust command. Z tilt, does it not have that? Unload filament. Huh. Doesn't Z tilt, I was totally distracted. Maurice, thank you for the 23 months, man. Sorry. I think I saw your message come up. It was like mid thought on something else. Thank you so much for the support, Maurice. Bed mesh scan. Interesting. I thought usually if you had that in your config, it would just show up. But I guess, oh, see, maybe it's because it's Z tilt adjust. I don't know. Let's try it and see what happens. Okay, Z axis must be home. That makes a lot of sense. Oh, cool. So we can... Wait, why is it homing there? That seems like a weird... Oh, no, that probably is centered. It's just not centered. Like, okay, so the probe's not centered, but the nozzle would be centered. It kind of trips me up because you have like what essentially looks like a tool head size thing, right? But then because it's grabbing onto a tool head, the probe is way favoring the right side when it homes, which is probably not an issue. So now I've got Z tilt. Hey, Los. Cool. That worked. Okay. Eddy will pro the bed in 3 places. The bed will then automatically. Okay, cool. So we're good. Again, ensure that the print heads are all docked. They are. It's important whenever you run a bed mesh scan that the print heads are docked. That makes sense. Otherwise, send bed. Okay. The probe will rapidly scan. Bed mesh scan, bed mesh scan. Here we go. I feel like it could go faster than this, but it's fine. I would probably want to do variable meshing if possible on this thing. Well, I missed you at Earth this year. Got my own tape. Oh, that's awesome, man. Take some photos at least, dude. Take some photos. I'm doing a migration in the background. 140 gig host. Oh, SQL database. Gonna take a while. Gee whiz. Hey, Akon. Is it Akon or Icon? Icon. It's Icon. How's it going? I'll probably stream nice. When is it? It's September, right? It's September again? I think last year it was on my, not on my birthday, but I think it was like the day I came back was my birthday. Okay. So our scan is done. Go to the height map. Oops. Yeah, no, that worked. Height map, height map, height map. Oh! That doesn't look great. I mean, it is a really highly detailed mesh, but 0.6 does not seem ideal. Check for any anomalies. I wonder if this tube had an effect on it. I wouldn't think so. I wouldn't think it would be strong enough to do that. Let me also just do a quick check of like that there's nothing underneath here. No, I don't see any sort of like debris or anything sticking up that would cause a side of it to be. Nope, it seems. I suddenly want Pringles. Yeah, I would like to get it lower than 0.6. Check for any anomalies. Although an additionally magnetic sticker place will affected, the mesh can be saved and called upon before starting print. However, recommended by default. Okay, it generates a new mesh. The start of each print to guarantee a perfect first layer. Got it. Huh, interesting. So it basically... Alright, let me make sure I'm looking at this correctly. So if I'm looking at the front of the printer, the sides go down, but the back goes up. So it's got... That is a really weird... I did run Z-tilt, yeah. I can run it again just to make sure it's repeatable. But it automatically runs Z-tilt, it seems like. So let me try this again. So let's... It seemed like it automatically ran Z-tilt, and I did run it right before this, but let's do this one more time. It didn't take that long, just to make sure that it wasn't a fluke. I kind of feel like it wasn't, but if I go to Z-tilt, yeah, so it was definitely good. Like, can you see this? Yeah. So 0.015399 tolerance 0.1. So it's definitely within like tolerance range. Do you think the bed is so taco because it has no frame underneath it? That's a good question. It's possible, I suppose. I don't know though, like at this size, how big of a... I wonder if the bed was supposed to be heated as well. I mean, it's going to do it before each print, so I suppose it probably doesn't matter in this case. Because it did have us restart it. Let me just verify that I didn't miss that. Okay, ensure the bed is at ADC, which we did do. Then save config, great. And then yeah, it doesn't say anything. It doesn't say anything else. Yeah, we'll do another scan. Let me also watch the, let me look at the thing a bit more. I was kind of just talking and letting it do its thing, but let me do bed mesh scan. It does. So the one thing I'm seeing, like when it whips, like, so when it's doing the zigzag, right? Like when it's shifting forward and Y, it's a pretty hard whip. And I wonder if that potentially could be giving it funky values at the edges. Although I would think that that would only be right at the very edges. Flip the sheet. Yeah, we could try that too. That's actually a really good idea. We'll flip the flex plate and see if it does anything. Are the belts tightened to operation? They should be. They should be. They feel plenty tight to me. They feel pretty dang good. Okay, so let's go one more time. Height map. 6.82. So yeah, it's same thing. Reverend, thank you so much for the 5 gifted memberships, man. The air horn and cheers. Thank you so much. Hey, Jose. Yeah, so it's the same. It's basically the same thing, which is just weird to me. I don't feel like this is what I'm used to seeing when I see taco bed. Like it would be mostly tacoed front to back. I wouldn't think it's over constrained. I wouldn't think it's over constrained. I wonder, like, I could possibly loosen those screws a little bit where the springs are. Let's flip the bed and just see what it looks like on the other side now. Let's just see if it changes at all. I'm gonna screen cap. Let me do really quickly, just do a screen cap of this so maybe we can compare. So let's go like that, and we'll just call this, I don't know, mesh 1. Okay, and then I will run it again. I did flip the bed. You guys probably didn't see it because camera wasn't there, but calibrate. Whoa. What is that? Oh, you know what? It's because I didn't, yeah, that was my bad. We'll let it do this, but this is because I clicked the calibrate button instead of running the macro. I did this once when we were doing the, I think I did this when we did the Tic Tac build as well. Hey, Joe. Well, happy Wednesday. Definitely a bit slower than the scan. You can just run a bed mesh in a different name, have them a list on the right side. Oh, that's awesome. I've only ever ran, that's good to know. I've literally only ever ran default and overwritten it. The only thing is, I don't know if I can run like multiple of them with different names using the macro. Because when I run it with the, when I run it within the height map window, it does this. Like, it's not set up for scanning probes. I'm almost tempted to just cancel it, but I don't know. Kind of, we're getting towards the halfway point here, so I might just let it finish. Kind of curious to see what the mesh looks like. Yeah, that's really smart. I didn't know you could do that. That makes a lot of sense. That's probably why they give you the ability to name them, so that you can check them. All right, we're officially halfway. It's definitely a lot slower when it has to pause between each one. Even if it does look the exact same with the bed flipped like this, I think we'll still just proceed forward. I think everything will still likely be fine. And I can figure it out later, whether I need to adjust or shim or whatever. I mean, the only real adjustment I can think of is these guys right here. Like maybe they're just tensioned too aggressively. I don't remember how I decided to tension them the way I decided to tension them. I don't recall. I'm kind of curious to go back to that. Well, I've got a minute while it's doing this, so let me actually do that. Let me really quickly just pull up here and see what it said about tensioning those. If we go to ProForge, let me go, it was under platform. Would have been probably at the bottom here. Mount the points. We recommend mounting the rear. There's no info about like how much you should compress the spring. Down, just a tip. To take a screen snip, just press Windows Shift S. Thank you, Peter. I'm primarily a Mac guy. I do use Windows computers. I use this desktop for streaming, and then I have a pretty cheap Windows laptop that I use for screen grabs for Lightburn stuff. But my like daily driver is a Mac, so I know the shortcode or shortcuts on Mac. I just don't know them on Windows. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, it doesn't look better. It looks worse. So I am now going to actually just run the macro here. So we'll do a quick one. So it did do a quick bed tilt. Things could look end up looking all different when hot too. Yeah, that's true. I mean, this is right now, we're just doing this at cold. Like bed is 38 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I really don't know actually when it comes to these springs how tight or how loose to compress them, or if it really matters that much. They use a similar thing on the Magneto, these sort of these springs on the bed. And I'm just looking, I've got shim, spring, shim. Let me just make sure I'm not missing a shim. Is the bed at 38C? It is right now. Yeah, it is. It's cold. It's cool. Yeah, all the springs look like they're in place. Do we want to try? Let's see. So let's see what that gave us. Okay, so it went down a little. It's basically the same. Do we want to, just for fun, try heating it up to like ABS temps? Like, let's just try 100C and see what it looks like. Let's do that. That'll be our last thing we'll do here. Yeah, we'll get it up to temp. I probably won't heat soak it very long. I'll just kind of let it climb up to 100C. And maybe let it sit for a minute or so, and then we'll try it and see how it looks. Well, it's interesting in the instructions on here. If we look at it, it did tell us to heat up the bed. Where was that? It was up here. Here we go. Ensure the bed is at 80 Celsius. And then it had us get the Eddy temp. Where the heck is it? Where did I? Yeah. So it had us heat up the bed to 80. Then it had us wait till the temperature of the Eddy probe was reading mid 40s. And then we did the setup, ensured tap was working. And then it says upon upon a successful tapping procedure, which we got, save config, and so we did that. But when you hit save config, it resets the, restarts the firmware, and so things are no longer heated or hot. And there was no other mention of like reheating. There's a mention of adjusting offsets and running Z-tilt. So I don't know whether the intent was that it was still at 80 or whether it was supposed to be the way I did it. But either way, we're heating it up now. We're already at 91. It heats up pretty damn fast. I've got an AC vent like right here blowing cold air. And so the fact that it's still climbing, not enclosed that quickly, is pretty impressive to me. So we'll let it hit 100, we'll let it sit for like 2 minutes, and then we'll do a scan and see how different they are. You said Control-Shift-S, right? Yeah, there we go, Control-Shift-S. Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you. I use it all the time, and for some reason, hotkeys like are just not something that click very well with me. Like, I'm always using Lightburn, especially for recording things and getting footage for work. And every time I need to use, grab a photo of something, I go, hit the start key, type in snip, click snipping tool, and have it pop up. I can't believe that I didn't think to look for a hotkey for it. There's a lot of things like that. I'm sure it's the same with Final Cut. I'm always pressing the same buttons. I gotta figure out too this camera, the webcam behind here for the printer. It just keeps blinking. Hotkeys and I go way back, but there's so many changes through the decades. Yeah, a lot of people love them, and I totally get it. There's certain things where it's like, it might not seem like a lot of work to just go up and click a menu option, but if you're using the thing over and over and over again, even if it's 10 seconds times hundreds of thousands or, of times, like that adds up to a lot of time. Control Shift S. So Control Shift S, and then it pops up ready to take a screen cap. Okay, so we've been at 100 for probably a minute and a half, 2 minutes. So let's go ahead and run a scan. Oops. So let's go here. We're gonna do bed mesh scan. I know, Greenbeard, I know. The only hotkeys I really use in Final Cut are A and B, which is Select Tool and Blade Tool. Yeah, that's really handy. Thank you for that tip. I'm sure there's a lot of things in life that I do a certain way just because it's how I know how to do them, but it's certainly not the best way to do the thing. That's probably everybody. I'm sure once you get comfortable with something, it kind of tends to be the way you stick with things, even if there's better ways out there. Every new major update of Windows adds and removes changes to hotkeys. I usually have a printout next to my desk for the useful ones. That's also a really good idea. Just a quick reference sheet. Okay, let's take a poll in chat. I'm not going to actually do a poll, but before we look at this, do we think that our mesh got better, or do we think that our mesh got worse? The difference was now that the bed's at 100 Celsius versus at 40 Celsius or 38 Celsius, like more like room temp. Thank you for that one, Hasio. Okay, so we got two the same, two better. Taco better. All right. Slightly better, if not the same. Same says Stuart. Worse says Green. It's a pretty good split. This is a pretty good split of people. All right, let's check it out. Slightly better. Oh, you can't see. Sorry. Slightly better is the answer. So we went from 0.64, 0.65 to a little under 0.6. So it got slightly better. It does look to me. So the weird thing is to me, right? It looks like it's mostly constrained here and here, but there's actually no mounting points there. But there are mounting points here and here from the screws. And I'm wondering if... Well, I'm wondering if those need to be slightly loosened. I'm tempted. Okay, I'm gonna try one thing. We're here, right? We're gonna after this, I promise. So right now it's 1 o'clock. We will not spend more than 20 more minutes on this, okay? And then we will move forward. I pinky all the pinky promises. I'm just curious to see if I take a driver, one that's the right size. Is this the right size? Okay. Yep. Let's do like. Wow, that is really. Jeez. Okay. Okay. I'm just kidding. Like that was just. I was maybe a half a turn. I just want to see if that makes things better or worse, or does nothing, because that's always an option too. Doing nothing is always an option. Okay. So let's just do another scan. I'm just curious if because those screws to me seem to be really the only thing that could be influencing it. Bed mesh scan. I wish I had your discipline on moving on from issues. My SSD requires me to stay on the same issue. It depends on what it is, Armor. It really depends on what it is. There are certain things like, I mean, the wiring the other day, you know, chat was saying like, oh, just, not everyone, some of chat was saying like, no, like fix it, take the time. But that one I couldn't justify. Is the rail tight? They should, yeah, all the rails should be tight. I mean, I could certainly check that, but I couldn't justify moving on from it because I knew it would be very difficult to go back to it, and the potential for something to go wrong and like have a wire get tugged or something like that was, I felt, high enough where I needed to address it. It just depends on what the thing is. Hey Luke, I don't know if I saw you come in. Oh, there you are. Yeah, there you are. Hi. Welcome, welcome. How was Murph? Online I saw, the main things I saw people posting was humid as heck. It was very, very humid. All right, let's see if there's, so I loosened them in this case ever so slightly. Okay, I see a slight improvement. We went from like 0.5, okay, interesting. So, okay. There was more blue here before, I think. So I'm actually gonna do the same thing now this time, but to the back screw, because I didn't touch the back screw this time, I just touched the front one. So let me move this. Lurking while working. I, for some reason, really like that rhymes. Okay, so I'm gonna turn this. Okay. Okay. And then let's turn this a hair more too. Maybe I compressed these too much, man. Maybe that was part of the issue. I don't know. I'm curious to see what this does. Okay, here we go. Okay. What are we doing? What are we doing? Bed mesh. The Rise and Shine donuts were on point. Nice. Donuts sound good. Hey, Tom Mama. How's it going, man? We like moist, but not one that's wet. Oh, man. Should have read that in my head before out loud. Should have just taken from the other printer. See if you've gotten a print on stream. Attaboy. Simple deduction of possible solutions or problems. Thanks, PC. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going for perfectly flat, but if we can get it from 0.64 to 0.4 something, I'll feel a lot better about that. Anything better. The system doesn't auto level. Tried new auto levels. This doesn't. It's constrained by springs. Well, it does. No, this does tram. Like the three corners do tram. But you're right. You're right. Okay, so the 3 corners do tram, but you also have springs, which can affect things. Yeah, so I guess it is kind of strange. I wonder if the taco could be from the rail setup, as they're not supported on 2 points, and the x-axis looks like it's also not. Yeah, no, you're absolutely valid points. It could be the weight once it gets to the center. I don't know. Okay, so it seems like we've sort of reached... It's the exact same as it was a second ago. But yeah, those are all good points. So if we're looking at it from the front, like, right? Am I doing this right? Let me make sure. Yes, so 0's there, 0's there. So this is looking at it like from the front, which your guys' view from here is based, yeah, that's the front. It goes up in the center of this, which I find odd because I would think that if it was from the rails in that direction, when it got towards the center of it, because it's got a support point right here and a support point right here. I would think that right here it would go down if anything, because there is no support in the center, not go up. So I find that a little bit odd. Regarding the X, which I'm a little bit confused on what's X and what's Y in this setup. Like if we're looking at it from this way, it's got basically 2 rails in X and 1 in Y, but it feels funky because of the direction of it all. But let's just say those were X, I suppose. And so Y is just a single rail, and that one to me looks like it would make more sense possibly being that it's sagging a little bit when it gets to the center, because it's only supported, well, yeah, because it's only got a thin, I think it's steel, maybe it's aluminum, piece under the rail supporting it. Try it with a smooth build plate, or even better, without the plate on at all. Doesn't it need the metal surface the way that the Eddy Current Pro works? I don't think it would work, right? Or would it work? If the X-rail is bowed downwards, then the ends would appear lower. And extrude prevent rotate magnetic build plate. Rotate it? So so far we have flipped the magnetic build plate, which I would think if it was, that should have inverted those directions. The beacon works on paper because of tap, but this is not using tap when it's doing the scanning here. Sagging in the middle equals closer to bed equals higher bed. What? From what I'm seeing here, if we look at it from the front, right, it dips off here, so there seems to be sag at the ends. It peaks here, which I just find odd. I mean, we're guessing it's the rail, right? Like it could still potentially be the bed, but the fact that we rotated the flex plate and it's basically the exact same. Like, let me pull up the first one that we took the photo of. Where are you? So this was our initial mesh. Let's move you out of the way. Let's move you like this. But I have turned things, so let's turn this. This was the same direction. Wow, that looks that looks basically identical to the original one. So clearly flipping the build plate didn't do anything. I mean, adjusting the screws seemed to have helped a little bit, but not substantially. So yeah, I wonder if it is the rails then. I don't know. Oh my gosh. I'm sorry, everybody. Yeah, I thought you guys just wanted to look at my hand in my head. So yeah, this is the photo we took when we did it at 38 Celsius, and this is our most recent one at 100. So I mean, it's like nearly identical. And the things we did was we flipped the spring steel And we've slightly adjusted the 3 screws. It would be one here, and one here for the back of the machine. So it definitely hasn't made a substantial difference. So I'm wondering if that could be rails. So the sagging is in the middle of the rail. If it's sagging in the middle of the rail is closer to the bed in the middle. Yeah. Which would result in a smaller reading or heightened height map. I thought, are you sure? Can someone confirm that? So you're saying if there was like, okay, I'm gonna draw with my mouse. So let's say rail's running along right here, right? So you're saying if the rail has a dip here, that this would be the result? I would think that if there was a dip here, it would look blue and it would go, wait. You're right. You're right. That makes sense. If there's a dip, it would be closer here, so it would show it closer. Got it. Okay, that makes a lot more sense to me now. I had to say it out loud for it to click. Yep, nope, I get it. Yeah, no, I get it. Count the ripples. It might be the screws holding the rails. Here it looks like there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see like 6 big ripples. And we are using a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 screws. Only 4 screws, not 6 there. I don't think there's much I can do about that though, right? Like as far as the rails go, it's got 2 mounting points right now. I mean, I could print out brackets, right? So that could be an option. I could print out additional brackets or see if I can source these. I mean, I think that they're specifically made by Makertech, but I could print out more brackets and see. Do the ripples match the phases of the probing? I don't think so. Well, I guess. Okay, so if we count each high point as a pass and each low point as a pass, that would be what? So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I think it does more than 12. I think it does more than 12. We can do one more just for funsies, but so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it does way more than 12. So no, it doesn't. It's relatively close to the edge, but I think the one that would be remember my bot sleep deprived. This is the perfect time to try to diagnose something. How close to the edge? Let's see your pro. I can show the pro section. I'm mostly looking old school spring adjust procedure is complete. Wait, old school spring adjust procedure is to completely tighten the spring, unloose the spring little by little until leveled, toss out the springs and install hard spacer. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure why they went with springs here versus like or something rigid. But I'm still not entirely convinced. Steve's here? Hey, Steve. I'm not entirely convinced that it's the bed at all. I'm leaning towards, I mean, it could be a combination of things too, right? Steve, I'm gonna bring you really quickly up to speed on what's going on here. So we've got the Eddy probe set up and our meshes are looking like this. So roughly around a 0.6 range. And the things we've tried so far is flipping this. Oh, dang it. I did it again. Oh my God. So the words. The things we've done is we tried meshing cold versus hot, which was a small difference. We tried flipping the spring steel, which didn't really have much of any difference. And then we tried slightly loosening these guys, because I had these pretty much not fully compressed, but definitely tighter than this. Yeah, I got it, sorry. So we think loosen these screws more. Okay, that's too loose. Like, okay, do we want to try it? Like, there has to be some constraint. I don't think it's very tight anymore, actually, everyone. Okay, that doesn't feel like a whole lot of tension. Where's the back one? There it is. All right. I don't think it's super even, but I am really curious about this. Because like having, like, you can compensate for things, sure, but like having a pretty solid starting point is much nicer than trying to compensate for it. Okay. Let's see what this looks like. I probably do have another flex plate we can throw on it just for fun as well. And that'll probably be the last thing I'll do. Oops, nope. Abort. We don't want to use this. We want to go here. That'll probably be the last thing I attempt to do for this today before we just move forward. You can always put on headphones and have Steve join you on Discord voice chat and patch it in so we can hear headphones on your, and we'll make it where we don't get feedback. I don't know how much, I don't know how much Steve could remote troubleshoot right now. Like, it would take us, Steve's helped me remote troubleshoot things many a times, but I don't think that, also Steve's at work right now. Steve, you can't just like, you can't just rub the magic lamp and have the Steve genie up here, okay? You gotta set up a time with Steve. Did you heat it up? It should still be heated up. It's still at 100 Celsius. I mean, it's not, right? Because the flex plate was off the thing. I mean, this was a pretty substantial adjustment of the screws compared to how I had it. So let's see what this looks like. Before, I only did like half turns on each of them. Okay. All right, you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. Same exact thing, 0.6. It made no difference. So I would rather have them tight at this point, tighter than how I have them. I won't go crazy ugga-dugga, but I at least want to secure them a little bit more. Less red in the back. Yeah. It was still, though, we don't use them on the reference Trident design either. All right, for fun here. Okay, just for funsies. Let me find another flex plate. Let me find another flex plate. I've got, let's see. Ooh, yeah, let's use this one, dude. All right. Although I feel like this flex plate, you're absolutely going to see. This is the ModBot limited edition Ember Prototypes one. But I think that this side's probably not the answer. We'll go with the smooth side. Because I have a feeling that, oh no. Oh no. It doesn't fit. So I guess it is slightly bigger than 305 or whatever the Voron 300 is. Well, that's a bummer. I'm still gonna scan it. I just want to see what it looks like. Read my comment before. Oh, okay, you're eating lunch. We don't use them on the Trident design. Oh, a 0.6 variant you should be able to see laying a straight edge across the bed. Other option is the X extrusion. Could be twisted or bent. A few people are saying that they think it could be the rails too, because the rails are only supported I guess these are the X rails, depending on how you look at the machine, but like the X rails are only supported by 2 spots, and then the Y rail is supported by 4 spots, but it is still like a pretty thin metal piece. So I wonder if it, like a few people have mentioned maybe it's the rails, and I wonder if that could be an option as well. Sorry, I missed that. I went straight from you're eating a sandwich to the Trident. I don't know. This is the default settings that they had, so we're rolling with it. All right. Oops. Did notice that the X-rail setup, I'd definitely be looking at the bed. If the bed is straight, checking with a straight edge. Okay, what am I doing? Height map. No, so it didn't do it. It's not the bed. Or at least not the flex plate part of the bed. The only straight edge I've got that's like maybe long enough is this monster ruler. And it's tacoing, well, it's tacoing both directions. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You can totally see that. You can totally see that. Hold on. I don't know if I'll be able to show you guys, but yeah, I can absolutely see that. Here, let's see if I get you guys, like, I don't know how well you, no, that sucks. Hold on. Come on, camera. I don't know how well you can see it or can't see it, but it's touching in the center and both sides are down. So it's totally the bed in that direction. Yeah, so that's the bed. Absolutely. In the other direction, I'm imagining then if I go like this, I will see the opposite. So it's touching on the edges and slower in the center. Yeah. Yep, it's the bed. At least it appears to be. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the bed. It's totally what it is. So there we go. At least I can stop. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's the rails then, which I am kind of happy about. Hit it with a big hammer. Good call. I think that I saw earlier, Tom Mama had mentioned getting a straight edge as well. But thank you for the recommendation, and Steve for saying it as well. I'm glad that I ended up doing it because yeah, that helped sort of rule out a lot of what I was seeing. Okay, so let's move forward at this point. I can't do much about the bed right now. I don't think shimming, no, shimming wouldn't do anything because of the way this is. I don't think there's much I can do about it really at all. Oh god, yeah, cap. I guess you're saying underneath the, like, just put some Kapton underneath the spring steel. Oh, it's okay, RH. It was worth, because like I didn't know. That was absolutely worth checking. And who's to say it might not 100% be the bed. The rails could be slightly influencing it, but it definitely seems like based off what I just saw, it I wasn't expecting it to be that dramatic with the straight edge, and it was pretty dramatic. So, okay, let's go ahead and do this. With the printhead, with the first printhead selected, use the center macro. So let's go ahead and grab our first tool head, which is select T0. Okay, and then it says to use the center command, and then it says to do shaper calibrate. So let's do that. That is a crazy, why is it moving so much? Any shimming above the magnet will reduce the effectiveness significantly. Better to put it under the magnet, not ideal. Yeah. Okay, so it's like moving back and forth, but also performing input shaping. Really strange. Yeah, we're doing input shaping, Lisa. Oh, okay, so this is a clipper thing. I've not updated it. I don't know. The bed is from the kit. So it's from ProForge directly. Yeah, I've never seen this. I was like, for a second, I'm like, is something wrong? Yeah, the bed plate is the primary issue with the tacoing. We took this long straight edge, closest straight edge thing I've got, which is just this little ruler, and in this direction, it touches in the center, and you can see like gaps basically from right at the center outward, so we can see it's got a high spot. And then the other direction, I also saw the same thing. I don't think it's extreme. I think that the main tacoing is like this, and then this has a little bit as well, but not quite as much. This is new, and from what I've been told, not as good of a test as the old one. I forgot exactly how to disable it. There is a setting. I might leave it for now and then run it without and compare. I've never seen this before, so it's kind of interesting to see this. I thought maybe when it was doing this that it was like a custom macro they'd set up for something to do with tool changers, but I guess that's not the case. Usually 0 is turn off or disable. Got it. Okay, I'll add that right now and then we'll rerun it. You're saying add... where did you go? Add sweeping period equals 0. Sweeping period, or not equal 0, but sweeping period 0. Is resonance testing not in here? Here we go. Resonance tester. Okay. Sweeping period. A period of slow sweeping moves. Setting this parameter to 0 disables. Got it. Cool. Thank you. Yeah, we'll run it one more time without this then. It probably will go faster. It feels like this is slower, but it could just be me. I love building 3D printers, but I've always self-sourced to maintain good parts. I hate kits, so too much chance to get cheap on parts or a defective one. Yeah, I guess it just depends. I've definitely had my fair share of builds where like I'm relatively happy with the kits or pretty happy with the kits, and I can always upgrade things as I want. The first run I ever built, the V0.1, I self-sourced, and it was painful. It was really expensive compared to like what a kit goes for. I mean, I'd have to look, and granted, part of it was there was certain tools I didn't have I needed, but I want to say I spent probably $1,200 or so on my first V0, and that was self-sourced. And on top of that, like, I ordered some things incorrectly, so I had to order additional parts. It just, I don't know, that part of it was not fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and just firmware restart. Or it's still doing its thing. It's recommending, there we go. All right, let's try this again. Seems slower but more comprehensive, like it simulates me better. Wait, that's not what we want. Okay, so hopefully this will run now. And not sweep. Yeah, cool. It's doing the traditional, or like the input shaping I've always used. You get the whole family entering the giveaways. Can you imagine buying a pre-sure bamboo and getting a bed like that? Don't think it would happen unless missing quality control. I actually think that it's not that uncommon, man. I know that when the team behind the X1 Plus, or whatever the yeah, it is X1 Plus, right? Firmware, basically like was able to add things. They added the ability to see a bed mesh. And if I'm not mistaken, the beds that they were seeing on the X1 Carbons were pretty tacoed. Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure bamboo beds are that bad as well. They just do a really good job of compensating for it, and you don't get to see it normally because although you can see you can run a bed mesh, you don't get access to those data points. You should send the bed to Steve. He could practice milling smooth surface on his new mill. I feel like Steve has probably a handful of projects in mind, but milling my bed flat is not on that list. But if I'm wrong, Steve, if I'm wrong and you're just looking to mill all the beds, I'll send you a stack. Yeah, I also believe that the X1 carbon beds are actually really, really thin. You can't really see it by default because it's got that, you know, kind of trim around it, but I'm almost positive they're really thin beds as well. All right, we're almost done with the first one. Yeah, Mandela. I've never purchased one. I've wanted to, but I'm usually like looking at the price and I'm like, I don't know, is my bed that bad? The K1 Max is really the main one that I've debated on quite a lot for getting one from Mandela, right? Mandela Roseworks. Huh, what are we going up to? Oh, I tried to move the camera fast enough so you could see it vibrating a little bit, but I think I missed it. Yeah, K1 Max bed is really bad. I ended up using springs, and that let me correct it a little bit, but yeah, it was pretty bad. I want to say, like, this is 0.6, it seems like, approximately, and I want to say I was definitely, I almost positive I was north of that. I have to look back at the video. In my video on the, like, issues with the bed, I do show what my initial value was, and it was pretty dang high. My K1 is holy crap, 1.5 millimeters off. Yeah, that's probably more than mine. I use silicone spacers and print on the glass bed for anything higher than PETG. I've done quite a bit of ABS on the K1 Max and ASA, and it's done a pretty good job, but that was after I modified the bed on it. Kapton tape is way cheaper than a new Mandela Roseworks bed, but I am also on the fence of buying a Mandela bed. It would be nice to get rid of the mag sheet. Spoiled with my Trident bed, I can almost get away without a bed mesh. And a piece of paper is 0.2, so 0.6 in the other world. Yeah, agreed. I mean, it should be able to compensate for it. I'm not, like, we're not doing any more troubleshooting or diagnosing of anything, and I'm not sure if I'm even going to address it. We're just going to print, I'm going to see how it all goes. I will also reach out to ProForge just to let them know. I don't know, I mean, I doubt they're machining them in-house. I'm assuming they're sourcing them from somewhere in the UK. Or maybe not, maybe it's from China. Yeah, it probably is, I don't know. Just to see, like, whether that seems about right. Like, say, hey, I don't know what, because it's, they're, oh. The aluminum bed itself has a tolerance of 0.1 millimeters. The addition of the magnetic sticker and flex plate will affect this. I don't, oh, geez. It scared me. I don't think that the magnetic plate, or the magnet is what is giving that extreme taco-ness. We did, yeah, we did. A lot of the testing we did after the initial one was at 100 Celsius, so yeah, we did. It improved it a little bit. I think it went from 0.64 or 0.65 down to 0.6, so like it was small. I was hoping for a bigger, I was hoping it would go from like 0.64 to like 0.45 or something like that. Okay. Recommended input shapers MZV, which is 13K. Wait, right? No, MZV, where are you? 31K Excel, okay. 3 hump on this one. Wait, with only 3K Excel. So our Y is really what's limiting us, which is our single axis. That is really low. So 3,400 for Y and 31,300 for that. I would like to play around with things a bit to try to get that better, because that is 10x difference, but all right, well, we'll leave that for now. Curious to see what this says. Check out shake tune, not a requirement. Oh. I use paper between plate and magnet. Okay, let's move forward here. All right. Spool holders. Install the spool holders as shown. Okay, so I guess we do have a little bit more building. I know we have to attach the the little nozzle offset calibration tool. Let me take these out. We are looking for big screws. It's probably these guys. Yep, M5 by 100. Then we need M5 T-nuts. These look like M5 T-nuts. Change camera really quick. Just make sure these are the right size T-nuts because they got mixed up. Yep, that seems right. Okay, so we got T-nuts. The last thing we need are penny washers, which are where? These are magnets. There's grease. Spacers and shims with nothing in the bag because I have moved things around. There they are. Okay. Install the spool holders as shown. What did I just do? I had the penny washers. How did I manage to do that? I had the thing I needed, and I looked up and somehow lost them in that process. Okay, they're in this bag. Let's not lose them again. Okay. And then we need a big driver. Okay. So it looks like on the left side of this thing, download and print covers to go over these bolts. Okay, so there is covers that look pretty nice. I'll show you guys these. I guess it didn't include them though, so I'll have to print these. For now, they're just going to be metal bolts. Where does the third spool mount go though? It's just, I would think there should be a third one considering. So it looks like it wants them to both be on this side. Boop. Ah, cool. So that's what these spots are for. So one of them goes right here. Okay. And the other one goes, oops. Maybe it only, okay, one must go here. That must be how this works. It would help if I put them on the right way. Okay. Let me just confirm. Oh, the last one, actually there's more to the last one, so let me check on this. There's a bracket and some other stuff. Okay, so for this one, we still need the bolt. So we need, where's that bracket? That's this aluminum bracket. Here it is. Hey, thank you, Armor. I appreciate it, man. I hope you can get the PZ figured out soon. I hope it's something silly that ends up just working out. Okay, so it looks like this is the orientation. And we need nylon lock nuts. I didn't realize that we had more building to go, so it's gonna take me a second here to find the hardware. Where are lock nuts? Where are you? I found M4 lock nuts. I really don't see them. I might just grab my own at this point. Yeah, we'll just do that. 5 lock nuts. So this goes like this. Well, I'll come over here. Whoa. I ordered a beacon? Oh, yeah, you did. I'm probably doing the same thing with my 2.4, man. It's just like really, hello. It's really tough to, it's been, I didn't think I would mind the slow probing, but more and more I'm just wanting the really fast probing. Okay. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, I think that's probably enough to get the full length. Stuart! Thank you so much for becoming a member, man. Cheers. It's cheers. Thank you so much. All right. All right, I'm gonna call that good enough. And then on the bottom, what do we need? M4 T-nuts and M4 6-button heads. Those I do have. M4 T-nuts. 2 of these. Oops. And M4. Where are you? M5 8s, M5 10s. Where the heck are the M4 6s? It's gotta be these guys. Nope, those are M4 8s. There's a lot of bolt sizes. M4 10s, come on. I'm probably just gonna go with M4. Wait, are these them? It's the M4 6s, I found them. And then just to confirm, oops, this is going, yeah, right there. Oh, it's not going where I thought it was going. Wait, no, it has to be going right here. Mount it to the frame as shown. What? Yeah, that's a mistake, I think, in that drawing. There's nothing to mount down there. It has to go right here. I mean, they're using T-nuts, so it's the only thing that makes any sense. Where? Okay. So let's get the last spool holder installed, and I think we're moving on to nozzle offset. Then I think it's slicer and print. Of course, this is the wrong size driver. And the right size driver is, there we go. You forget to print the plastic sleeves for this spool holder like you did? Yeah, well, there was no mention of, I was told that the kit had all the printed parts. So I guess if I had read ahead, I maybe would have seen it, but yeah, I was under the impression that everything that was required was needed. It also does say, like, in the instructions that it's a mod, so maybe I think it should be the default. It'd look a lot nicer and maybe work better. I guess that's up for debate. But yeah, I had no idea that I was supposed to print out anything. We'll add them later. Anybody that watched Taylor's stream on this build, do you know how his bed looked? As far as, was his bed tacoed as well? Okay. So that is done. What's next? I think it's the nozzle offset. Nope, auto filament loading only. Hold the printer and select the first print head. Okay. Cool. I was surprised to see him build this printer in the first place. Wait, why? Why do you say that? Okay, so hold the printer, use the front macro to bring it forward. Okay. Feed filament in through the PTFE tube and insert it into the extruder. Push it in about an inch so that it makes contact with the gear teeth. It should auto heat up. All right. So we're basically loading filament at this point. So I'm just gonna grab spools. I have a bunch of voxel PLA filament. Most of my Polymaker filament is not PLA, and if it's PLA, it's probably downstairs. I've got, here's one Polymaker spool we can use. This is Starlight. It's pretty. It's probably gonna be a mix of voxel and this. This kit was from ProForge directly because it was a Kickstarter. But the Kickstarter's been done for a long time. Also, is he really anti-Kickstarter? I'm not anti-Kickstarter, especially when it's someone like ProForge. I don't think is a massive company. Have they done other Kickstarters? Yes, but I think it's quite different than a really large company. I can't actually get to the filament path. Doing a Kickstarter. I think my biggest thing with Kickstarters, hold on, let me make sure I'm doing this right. My biggest thing with Kickstarters is more so than an issue with people using Kickstarter, because it seems like that's just what everyone's using for the sake of leveraging marketing, is I want to make sure that the person is aware that if they're backing anything on Kickstarter from anybody, there's no guarantee they'll actually receive anything. That popped out. Why did that pop out? Maybe because I pushed too hard. Okay, so it appears to be auto heating. Yeah, it's auto. It's okay. It's heating up to 220. I'm just trying to be a bit of a smartass. Taylor can be very outspoken about something and then do it. Just got it. Okay. I haven't been able to watch the streams for a while. I've like seen little pieces here and there, but yeah, I don't like, Kickstarters exist and people keep doing Kickstarters because people buy the Kickstarter. So people can scream and shout and get as loud as they want about not liking Kickstarters, but the reality is a lot of people are throwing money at it. Hey, hey Viking. Hey Ruben. Sorry, I didn't see you guys. Are we still heating up? Okay, is it feeding? It says green. It doesn't appear to be doing what it's supposed to. You know what? I think it's because this thing is not here. For whatever reason, it did not feed in as far as it was supposed to. Is it not? Is it? I don't think this is working. Yeah, the extruder didn't. Okay, let me manually feed it. It sure didn't seem like it was moving the filament. So if I go to here, let's heat this back up to 220 by manually. I thought we checked the extruder motor, but maybe we did not. So let's go to extrude. Yeah, that is not extruding. That's kind of odd to me. I thought for sure we checked this. Let me check again. No, it is extruding. Is there a... Ah! These have a latch mechanism. All right. Okay, that was silly. So that is, are we locked now or are we not locked? I don't know. Okay, we're feeding. All right, it helps if you have the tension applied. Look at that. Okay, user error, of course. keeping track of stock is a chore. Humor and sarcasm aren't permitted here. What? Humor and sarcasm are always welcome. I think my only rule is be kind to others. Like that's really my only rule. Just be kind to others. Okay, so we did that. Great. Feed the filament. Button the printer will unload. This is a tensioning lever. It has 3 levers. Oh, there's 3 tensioning levers. Okay, so that's 1. That's 2. Oh wow, 3 is aggressive. Okay, yeah, we were on the right one. Okay, so that's nothing. That's PLA. Great, we were on the right one. Got it. Got it. Check out the correct number of active printheads set. We did that. If you have just one print installed, save and restart. I'm assuming we should be doing that for all of them. It doesn't say whether we should do them for all of them, but I'm going to. Yeah, let's just do that. So let's go really quickly here. Dock tool 0. Okay, got a little bit of crap here. And then we're gonna go to select tool 1. Cool. And then there was a macro called front. Neat. And then we're gonna just manually heat this up to 220. I will find some filaments. So we've got, what is that, like a bluish green? I think I've got black. Is this black from? Yeah, we'll do black. Oh, I forgot I dropped this spool on the ground and it broke the edge of it. Check it out. How many of you have done this? It's happened to me more times than I'm happy to admit. Like, can you see this? This here, let's do a little zoom action. Can you see that? The missing rim? I've done this quite a few times where a spool has fallen, landed on the floor. This was carpet in this case, yet it still snapped this. Yeah, every time it happens, I'm like, no. I'm thankful that I do at least have printers that grab spools from the center, but it basically means I'm not using it with the bamboo, or at least the AMS, like the original AMS. It's happened to me quite a few times. What did Deanna say? Oh, snarkasm. Yes. Yes, snarkasm. Snarkasm is always approved and allowed. All right, so let's go ahead and feed this in through the tube. Oh, let's make sure our lever, there we go. There we go. We have engaged the lever. Okay, it seems like maybe I'm just gonna have to manually feed. Is it grabbing? It says filament is loading. I'm calling lies, it's not loading. Or maybe it is loading? It's not loading. Yeah, the gears aren't moving. It looks like we're at temp. I might have to play around with these macros later more. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. I don't see any warnings. Oh, it is doing it now. Right? Yeah, but it's not. Why are you not grabbing it? Why are you not taking my filament? Oops. Is it the way I have it cut? What is going on here? Normally the orbiter works really well at doing this thing. So let me try cutting this at an angle. Maybe it's just a little bit pickier about angle. Let's try this again. So let's cut you at like a sharper angle. We'll even cut you at kind of a double point, so that way you're sort of centered. Let's see if that works. Okay, that definitely went in. So hopefully it's heating back up. Okay, it's grabbing it. I've never used the Orbiter 3, so it's probably just gonna take me a little bit to figure out kind of their ins and outs, but it's feeding. What filament? So the first one is Polymaker's Polylite Starlight Comet, which is really pretty. This one is black from Voxel PLA. And then I would like to have either like a red or an orange. I don't have, most of my Polymaker filament is ABS and ASA, and I just want to do PLA for a while at least on this. So, do I have an orange? Yeah, here we go. We'll just do orange, or maybe we'll do gray. What is this? Is this PLA? This is PLA. Jesse Premium PLA. Dude, this has got to be old. This is nice. This is pretty nice stuff. This is like old printed solid stuff. It's got, I think, yeah, it's got shimmer in it. It's got some sparkles. So 2 sparkly and 1 non-sparkly. So let's go ahead and get this last tool head in. We are going to dock T1. We're going to select T2. Okay. Tell it to go to the front again. Sweet. All right, last one. Last one. If I had more space for another printer, I'd probably build one. Yeah, the tool heads on these are freaking sweet. At least they seem pretty sweet. I'm a big fan of Orbiter in general, so I'm very excited to play around with these. It's hard to say whether they're freaking sweet when I haven't actually printed with them, but they look freaking sweet. Okay, feeding filament in. We got tension. I'm not sure if like you have to disengage tension to load, or if by normal, like by default, you should be able to just leave it. I really don't know. Okay, so that seems to be in. Yeah, I don't know if like the answer is I'm supposed to go like this and then shove it through. It doesn't seem like that's the case. It doesn't want to go in further, so we'll see. Something tells me it's not going to grab it again. Hey Down Under, you missed our taco bed, man. This bed is a lot of things, but flat is not one of them. Granted, it's 0.6 is the range, and it looks pretty aggressive because of the fact that the mesh is really dense. Well, yeah, it's still not great. All right, we're heating up. We should be loading. We are loading. Yeah, it doesn't really grab the filament very well. It's kind of, you have to kind of really shove it. There we go. Now it's going through. I probably just got to get used to it. I'm sure that's all it is. We still loading? Nope. What's going on here? There we go. All right, we officially have extruded filament from all of the tool heads. They're all loaded up. So let's now grab this. Let's dock tool head 2, like so. This job is getting in the way of the hobby thing. All right, let's see what's next. Also, yes, if you have not smacked the like button, hit that like button. We're gonna open up the giveaway in 26 minutes. Doing it a little bit later today. Print head count, we should be fine there, but I will double check it. Yeah. Thought we already did that in a previous step. Printhead calibration. Before starting the calibration, it's important to home the printer, dock any print heads. Okay. All of our stuff has been docked. Make sure the flex plate is on the bed. Great. So let's go ahead and quickly home. Okay. Okay, so slide the flex plate mounted onto the rear. Interesting. So I'm gonna really quickly turn off the power because I'm not sure whether you're supposed to be able to, I don't know whether you're supposed to be able to plug and unplug this with it on, and I don't want to damage anything. So slid this forward. We're gonna grab our nozzle little probe guy. This is what it looks like. It's just a ball, metal ball on a CNC part. There's a mechanical switch inside of here, and this is going to attach. So there's a screw hole or a thread in the back of the plate, and it had us this is really difficult to show. Not hot swappable. Great. Yeah, I generally err on the side of things not being hot swappable. There's a little connector here that we left when we built this, or that we left there. Yeah. So I'm gonna plug this in here like so, and then it looks like this is just going to be bolted down. I'd love to get you guys an angle of this where you can at least see something. That might work. Okay, so let me install this screw. So this is going through the CNC part and into the bed. Maybe. Yeah. Okay. Now that we've got that, okay, slide the flex plate forward, mount onto the rear of the platform, calibrate probe with an info. Okay, mount it, yes, yes, yes. It doesn't say anything about having to turn the printer off, so are we sure it's not hot swappable? I would think it probably is, because it says plug the cable into it, and it just says to home the printer. So, so let's go ahead and power this back on. Something tells me, yeah, because otherwise, if you did this first like I'm doing and your tool head or the head of your machine was over there, you'd crash into it. I can ask them, but I have a feeling this is hot swappable. So hopefully I can get it back to the center without crashing. So let's just do so let's go home all. We're gonna touch the ball. Select the first print head and check that when the nozzle tip is above the ball of the probe, the coordinates match what has been set. Okay, so let's grab our T0. So select T0. Cool. And looks like we need to manually, instructions here don't say to drop the bed, but it looks like if we didn't drop the bed, we would crash. So we should probably drop our bed. Let's go down, 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 or down, up. down is up. Okay. So let's go down, down. And then it says default is X80, Y270. So let's go X80, Y270. That seems decent. Does it have to be perfectly centered? It's definitely not perfectly centered. Is above the ball of the probe. I think that I would rather, let's see. Test it with your finger first. Yeah, not a bad idea. I think I would rather be centered. So let's go ahead and bring this a little bit closer so I can get a better gauge of this. So down is up. That's not awful. I do think, though, if we go like maybe one step that way, 2 millimeters that way, and then like 2 millimeters. No, that's the wrong way. That seems better to me. I mean, I don't know how much it truly matters as long as it engages. Okay, I'm going to call that the spot. So this is 82 by 269. So this is located under... I don't know where this is located under. It's a macro. So let's see macros. And this macro is called calibrate move over probe. Cancel print, pause print, resume, move over. I don't think it's in here. I don't think it's in here. Main sail, calibrate offset. Ah, here we go. Cool. So what did I say? I think I said 82 by 269. We're going to go with that. Okay. Sweet. So, with the probe secured, the printer homed, and all print heads docked. Okay, let's do this. Let's do this! So we need to first dock, or first we need to home, right? So let's go home. We're getting close. We're getting close. I would assume you shouldn't have to redo this calibration all that often. Like maybe if something gets out of whack, or you change like your tool head, or maybe if you change your nozzle, possibly. I wouldn't think you'd have to do this all that often. Okay, so great. Let's go to dock tool 0. Fantastic. Wait, what? What just happened? Auto filament, we did that. Check the variables, we did that. Before starting the calibration, we did that. Okay, we definitely did that. We did that. The printer homed. Run the okay, here we go. Calibration tool offsets. Got it. It's a macro. Okay, here we go. Let's see how this goes, y'all. Activating extruder 1, 2, and 0. Okay. Okay, so I guess it's heating everything up to 150 Celsius. Oh, that makes sense. It's to soften any filament that might be on the nozzle. What are your thoughts on the documentation for this build? Overall, I think the documentation is pretty dang good. Like, I would say it's some of the better documentation. There have been a few small sections, I think, of head scratching. I've been a few small sections of head scratching, but overall, I don't really have complaints on documentation on this. It's been pretty solid. Yeah. I mentioned that to them that like the main issues I had were just like the wiring. I feel like the wiring needs more work. it just kind of feels like an afterthought where it's like, yeah, just zip tie everything down here wherever you can. That's kind of the vibe I get. And last week there was mention of the order of operation. It would be nice to flash firmware on things before mounting it. But like overall, the build has gone really, really well, in my opinion at least. Considering I've never done a tool changer, I don't really feel like I've hit all that much stuff that wasn't clear from the documentation. Okay, so it grabs it, it does a nozzle wipe. Okay, it's engaging. Okay. So it's going on both sides of the ball. It does all four sides. So coming from the left, coming from right, coming from top, coming from bottom, and then coming from like actual top. Can you guys see this like somewhat? If not, I can move you guys to this side probably. Let me see, can I zoom in more? I can. Yeah, this is as close as I can get it from the front. I can move the whole camera around if we want, but there's been a lot less logic leaps required than many builds. I agree with that. I feel like, if anything, like they they probably could have gotten away with being a little bit more vague in certain sections, but there was not much of any times where I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, or how did they do that? It feels like everything that I needed was there as far as the documentation goes, which is quite impressive considering like this is a tool changer. I don't really know Makertech's setup, but like I imagine they're not a massive entity, so they definitely have put in time to make their documentation kind of as robust as it is. Got it. So you're saying the switch is off, and when the trigger is pressed, that turns it on. Yeah, this is pretty neat, though. It gets all like 5 directions, so top, down, like from top to down, then left side, right side, top, and bottom. I would think that this would be pretty accurate and repeatable, just considering it's a mechanical switch and a metal ball. Okay, so it seems like it offsets and updated successfully, so I didn't have to do anything else there. That's it. Then we're on slicers. All right, I'm gonna unplug this and just hope nothing bad happens. Okay, nothing bad happened. So let's go ahead and just detach this. I think this is the right driver. Yep. All right, y'all. I would really like to slice up a print like now, and I don't know how complicated the getting the slicer set up is going to be. I'm hoping not super, but we will find out in just a second here. Okay, I'm gonna grab a bar stool as well because it feels like the right call. We currently support the following slicers: Prusa Slicer and Orca Slicer. Fantastic. Download Orca and Prusa Slicer profiles here. It's neat that they give you 2 options. Okay. So I'm going to close some of these really quickly. These are from mostly like failed flash drive loading attempts. I just ordered a micro SD card reader, like a decent one. It's only like a $10 one on Amazon, but it's better than the ones I've been using, which are the ones that come with the printers that never seem to really work. Okay, that's fine, buddy. All right, here we go. So downloads, downloads, great. Extract all, great. Hey, Alan. It's only slightly more than box turtle. There's no reason you can't use precious slicer details in super slicer. Yeah, I would think that as well. I wouldn't see why that wouldn't work. Okay, so where was I? This is where I was. Loading Orca slicer, file import configs. So let's open Orca. Hello, box turtle. Oops. Okay, file, import configs. Oops, slicer, profiles, bam. The number of active newly code users, great. Only non-system, okay. Right. So am I correct in assuming that it's here now? ProForge. Hey, there you are. Yay. All right. So we suggest first printing with one printhead to make sure everything is set up correctly before jumping into a multi-material print. Do we want to do that? Or do we want to just go full send? Connecting the ProForge. Cool. Let's do that. Nope, that's not right. Full send. Damn, just another last minute mini request. Oh no! That's all right, man. Hopefully everything goes well and you can see the first successful print. That's what I'm hoping for. Okay. Did I not save it? Is that what I just did wrong? No? Okay, then why are we not showing up? I don't understand. Did I not just... Am I doing something silly? Hostname. Yes. Test. Working successfully. Okay. Device. There we go. Okay, there was some lag. There was some lag. That was throwing me off. Okay, let's close out of this. I don't like having more than one open. Starting a print, great. Print quality. So single head print, it just says hit the slice button. Fantastic. Connecting to ProForge, start a print. And you prompted to check that all print heads are docked. The printer will pause in the beginning to allow you to dock any print heads you might have selected. When ready, hit the play or resume button to continue. Okay. Okay. Multi-material. The multi-part benchy. Okay, I kind of want to just do the multi-part benchy, guys. I really think I want to do the multi-part benchy. But the thing I'm confused about is... I'll mute and put on my secondary. Can't miss the print part. Yes. Where's your little producer man? He's sleeping. He is taking a nap with mom, and sometimes like he like naps for quite a while when they seem to take their naps. So we'll see. But no, I'm sure he'll pay us a visit. Now that I think about it, yeah, he must be awake. It's been 2.5 hours. That's a great question. I'm sure he'll be up here before we know it. Dual print multi-part. Single. I don't really love how broken up this all is. But let's go for it. So, Orca. Yeah. Yep. 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 Okay. What is this? Nope. What is this? This last thing that I added. Can we delete just this? What was that? Multi-part single stack window, heel, stern, hull, cargo. Oh. Maybe it's just this? No. Oh, my kids must be narcolepsy because they sleep for 3 hours? Wow, that's freaking awesome. Yeah, we don't get that. I don't understand which part is the sign thing that I'm picking up here. What is this? All right, let me do one more thing here. Is there a different place I can get this from? Multi-color benchy. After that, I'm ready to move on to like there's a 2-color. I just don't want to take too much time on this, and I'm not sure. So we obviously don't want dual print. Okay. Multi-part single. The object from file store nameplate is too small and may be in meters or inches. You want to scale to millimeters. That's fine. Yes. Okay, how do I break this split? Right? To objects. Nope. Split 2 parts. Okay, so there's the benchy, all the benchy pieces. Where is this sign thing? Why is it here? There, leave. There. Holy cow. Okay, and I don't know why this one has non-manifold edges. Got it. What happens if I delete just that one? Okay. What about this one? Nope. Okay, so we can't be deleting these things. So let's just leave these. Okay. And why are we floating? There we go. All right. So let's really quickly do colors. So we know that spool 1 was like kind of green. Spool 2 is black. And spool 3 is like a silvery gray. So let's just do some things here. Let's go like, what's this? Oh, that's the whole, got it. So that's the base of it. So let's not do that. Let's do baseline of green. Okay. So then let's see, what is this? Literally just the text. I don't know that I want to do the text a different color because I don't think we'll be able to see that very well. Let's do something else. Why is it? Okay. I don't know why. It looks weird. The way it's slicing, like it feels like the model is broken. Select the object, Alt-1, Alt-2, Alt-3. This is another example of... Oh my god. Delmar. Where have you been? Where have you been, man? Oh yeah, I don't know what that changed. Oh, the front window? Is it just me, or does it feel like this model feels busted? I don't recall ever seeing like this sort of weird flashiness going on, unless there's some issue with this. Yeah, something's off. It's like there's two... Yeah, I was gonna say, it looks like there must be a second benchy in here. But where? This is the second benchy. Yeah. Yahoo! All right. I don't hate the way this is looking. I think we'll do, let's do, I'm glad we put our heads together on that. I'm like, it doesn't look right. Like something's off. All right, two, let's do two there. So black there, and then maybe silver up top. And like the smokestack. Ooh, steering wheel. Do black steering wheel. Sweet. Where's the top? Where's the top? There we go. Let's do silver there. Okay, is that enough color changing? Ooh, what is this? Ooh. Ooh, I like that. All right. What about the little guy in the back? Oh, jeez. All right, maybe that one should be 3. Okay. Okay, another learn, use change color at layer for the base layer, then paint from there, catches any small polygons. Use change color at layer for the base layer, and paint from there. Huh. I'm trying to picture that, Delmar. Yeah, we'll open the giveaway in just, yeah, we'll open the giveaway. That's fine. Hold on. It'll be open for 30 minutes. Yes, here's the link. Trying to think about where I needed to go to get it. Yeah, it probably would have made sense to do just like something simpler than this. This is kind of, wait, it's kind of nutty. I don't know how it'll turn out, but we'll see. What happened? Okay, the link is pinned in chat for the filament giveaway, our Polymaker giveaway. Okay, with a successful single print, you can now multi-thread material. Load your model and assign a print head material. In the same way as before, we can slice and send the model to the printer for printing. We recommend using a wipe tower when printing with multiple materials. This ensures the best possible print quality. There are numerous resources available. That's it. That's it. It's that. Okay. If this just, all right. Let's just start. Let's just slice it and see how this goes. There was like nothing to configure though, really, with this. I loaded the profile. I imported Benchy. It says 1 hour and 45 minutes. It says there's floating regions. All right. I'm excited and nervous. Mostly excited. Use change color at layer for the base layer. Oh, got it. Got it. So you basically, in the object thing, you can select the primary color you want, but then go into painting and paint everything. You're saying it does a better job versus like if the model is broken up, there's a chance there could be like stray polygons that didn't get caught. So painting seems to work better. That's interesting. Thank you for the hotkeys. It's funny, you weren't here earlier, Delmar, right? When we were talking about hotkeys. I've learned 2 hotkeys today. Control Shift S. I know how to use like the built-in. Nope, that wasn't right. It was, what was it? Wait up, hold on. It wasn't control. What was it? Now I can't remember. Control Alt S? No. Was it Alt S? No, Alt Shift S. Windows Shift S. Okay. Well, I learned it and forgot it, but the snipping tool. Yeah, I'm always using Mac, so like I know the hotkey for it, but I don't know it on this. So Windows Shift S. Thank you. And now the assigning colors, which is awesome. But yeah, were you here? Were you here when we were talking about that earlier? So if not, it's kind of funny that it's usually people aren't telling me hotkeys on streams. In this stream, I learned 2 things. That's me, the Mac peasant. Okay, so what's going on the back end here? Oh yeah, it did say, okay, so it automatically pauses. Oops. It automatically pauses at the beginning to give you a chance dock all print heads. So this is your, hey, if you haven't docked all print heads, we're in our case already docked, so we can just hit play to continue. So now it is homing? Yeah, now it's homing. Had a drone and photo day at work. Oh, nice. Have things been picking up with the nicer weather and it being summer and all? Okay, so it does a full mesh each time. So I will likely do one of two things eventually. One is either speed up the mesh, or two, if I'm not speeding up the mesh, I'll very likely try to enable variable meshing, which is baked into Clipper, so that should be fairly simple to do. Now you got me wondering where Jack's at. Where is my... It's possible that he actually didn't fall asleep very quickly, and I forget where to put this coffee. It's possible he didn't fall asleep very quickly, and so although I think he's been down for some hours, maybe it was mostly Aaron like telling him, go to sleep, or going to sleep, we're taking a nap now. Let's put this here. Probe computed tap. Great. Okay, looks like all hot ends are now heating up to 220. 97 Fahrenheit, typical. The sellers use them in the nice months unless during the hot months. So it's pretty brutal being out there flying the drone then when it's so hot. We've got a heat wave coming, I think, this weekend, if I'm not mistaken. Also, there's no music. Usually Nice would be the one to tell me that there's no music, but I haven't seen Nice today. Yeah, so we hit triple digits on Monday, next Monday. Okay, nozzle looks to be too far. The thing I don't understand, though, is I assume I can use this, right? Or maybe it... Because it said something about if I need to change the Z offset to do so in a certain file. So I wonder if the way it works, because it's using tap, that changing the Z offset, like because it's using NG tap or whatever, changing the Z offset here won't actually do what I want it to long term. We're in a heat wave now in parts of Canada. It sucks. I'm concerned. I think this is the prime tower. I'm concerned this is gonna fall over. But it said something about if I go back here. Yeah, it needs to be closer. It definitely needs to be closer. Okay, let's do some stuff here. Let's chat. Oh, that's right. I'm now here. So let's pause the print. So when we were in here, it said tap. If tap fails, no. Yes. When printing, if you find your layer too high or low, adjust the tap adjust Z value in the Eddy.cfg. If the first layer is too low, increase the value. If it's too high, decrease the value. So that's here, and this is in MCU Eddy. So this is in the Eddy current file. Device, machine, Eddy. Where? Tap. Wait. Tap adjust Z. Okay, here we go. And it said, I would assume we're going lower. So if it's too high, decrease this value. Okay, so we're at negative 0.25. Man, I don't know how much I want to. I'm almost thinking like going from 0.25 to 0.4. Whew. Oh, that's cool. It auto-docked it. I should not have my hand in here as it's moving. That is not smart. Okay, let's just try it again, I guess. Come on. Get out of here. There we go. Okay, so let's print it. We need to do a firmware restart, right? Firmware restart. We start at 9 a.m. and then I have the other photos and videos when we get back to the dock. I finish at 12:30, try to do another boat, too hot, ugh. Is 97 your peak right now or no? It's getting above that. Okay, so let's print. Okay, so I lowered it from negative 0.25 to negative 0.4. So based off that, if it's still pretty far away, I'll know that moving at 0.15 didn't do a whole lot. Work is air conditioned at least, yeah. Erin's been taking Jack to like play place. She got a, ow, my back. She got a 1-month membership for now. And because Jack has so much energy. If there's a day where he's not either able to go out and play or go to this play place or do like some physical activity, like today he's gonna go swimming, you'll know because he's just super rowdy, not sleeping nearly as well. So it's nice to have the ability to take him to this play place for both Erin and him and me because it's air conditioned and just has a bunch of stuff to play around with. But there's also different kinds of heat too, right? Like humid. Florida is super humid. I don't know how like Australia or New Zealand area is when it comes to humidity. I don't know whether it's dry heat or not, but like I know Florida is super humid, and I think dry heat is a lot more enjoyable than humid heat. Alan's back! So we started the first print, and the issue I saw right away was that the bed was not close enough. I also probably should have cleaned this bed before starting this, but yeah, the issue was the bed wasn't close enough. And normally I would just baby step in mainsail, but there was a note about adjusting Z by changing it in the Eddy probe config. And I think that's because you should be able, like, Eddy should be consistent enough that once you get the Z offset set correctly for Eddy's like tap, that you shouldn't have to baby step. Like, it should always be roughly the correct height from the bed based off the value you set. So I think that's probably why it wants us to revise it in there and not in the mainsail interface. Ooh, yeah, that sounds brutal. 104 Fahrenheit, 92%. Yeah, that sounds brutal. Super brutal. It's crazy humid in the afternoon, drier in the morning. Depends if the wind is from the desert or the Indian Ocean. Got it. So you get both. Humid heat is more dangerous too. Body can't help itself as easily. Okay, so we're heating back up again. I should be able to tell pretty quickly whether that prime tower is looking like it's closer. Hottest day this year in my backyard was 107, Mojave Desert. I feel like we've hit that the first year we moved out here, and like I'm from Southern California, it gets pretty dang hot. And then if I go out with my dad to Palm Springs or Palm Desert, that gets brutally hot. I'm trying to see like what the weather is back home. Well, I guess this is home now, but like back where I was, old home. Oops, hold on, let me check this too. Okay, why are we not extruding? Okay, we're now extruding. Yeah, that's still not close enough in my opinion. I'll let it go a little bit further, just because I also find it weird too, like it didn't start extruding right away. I wonder if it's gonna be like that with all the tool heads. Okay, it's definitely getting better. It's still not great. I should probably stop it one more time, just because it's gonna, like, the benchy is gonna take an hour and 45 minutes, and so if I can already see that the first layer is still got gaps, I'd be less upset to restart the print and more upset at an hour for it to come off the build plate. Or not upset, I don't think I'd be upset, but like bummed out by it. So let's go ahead and pause this. Let's go back to machine. Let's go to Eddy.cfg. I want to raise it quite a bit more. I'm almost tempted to say, I'm almost tempted to double it. I think I'm gonna go for it. I'm not sure if that's even too aggressive, honestly. So let's save this. Okay. Then let's go ahead and go here. Let's stop this. So it'll dock it, and then we'll restart it and try one more time tonight. Hopefully this is it. Ah! Okay. Alright. So save config, sure. Come on, baby. Third time's the charm. Third time is the charm. 74 likes, 114 people watching. Let's get to 80 likes. 6 people. 6 people is all we need. All right. This is it. I believe. I feel it. I feel it. The first one was just for fun. The second one was just a test. And the third one is the real deal. And I don't care. Like, I'm not going for a perfect first layer. I just want it to give me at least confidence that I feel like it could stick. I'm tempted to just throw some of this nanopolymer on it, give it a little bit of liquid. Would it be wise to baby step to figure out the first layer and subtract that from what you have in the Eddy config? That's not a bad idea, SEO. It's not a bad idea at all. Thank you, Mike. You almost got it up and running, I see. Yeah, dude, this is first print, Nick. I mean, technically it's third first print because I've stopped it from the first layer not being correct. Oh, it's waiting on me. Yes. But yeah, we're so close. Arm getting caught in the gantry. If it was a CNC machine, well, I guess technically it is, you know, 3D printer is a CNC machine, but if it was like a CNC machine or a mill, I wouldn't even think about it. But with this printer, like, worst case scenario, it'll skip some steps on me and not press my arm. I liked twice. I put that on every plate just for the smell. Oh my god. Yeah, I'm tempted to just put a little bit on here, but we'll see. I think I'll do what you said, Hasio. I won't save the baby steps, but if I at least do baby step, then I can, like you said, add the difference later on. I've been pretty good, man. I've been pretty good. Just busy. Family and videos and gardening and all the other life things. How have you been? 33% of the time it works 100% of the time. Exactly. sounds stupid as I typed it, but at the same time, I don't see the harm in that plan. No, I don't think that's a bad plan at all. It's probably the most efficient plan. 10 more minutes too, then we'll do the filament giveaway. So if you haven't entered in, it is pinned in chat. Fully set up and tuned my LDO Trident. Awesome. Time to print skirts. Hey man, you could always do skirts later. How's the thumb doing? I mentioned it earlier. It's still hurting. I've been not doing as much physically physically straining things. But if we look at, like, I'll show you guys a quick little thumb update. It's still swollen, man. I don't know that it's actually gotten any better. So I was waiting on insurance to approve my stupid splint, and I don't know if it's gonna happen, but I found out that it's only $51 without insurance. So I'm like, well, my thumb's been hurting for about a month and a half. I think I could justify $50 on my thumb. So either tomorrow or the next day, I will go down and pick up that splint, and hopefully that helps. And if not, in a few weeks' time, I'll have to. The doctor said if the splint doesn't fix it in a few weeks' time, then the next step is you have to get an MRI on your thumb. So I'm hoping that's not needed, but I also want my thumb to not hurt. Just want my thumb back. Thank you for asking. Okay, so we're heating up. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Yeah. I would say that my thumb is probably my favorite finger. Thumb is probably my favorite finger. Very useful. Probe computed, okay. We should be printing any second. I think we're just waiting for the temp to stabilize. Yep. All right. Yeah, it takes a while for the filament to start coming out. All right, I'm gonna baby step. So let's go. What I'm not sure about is why there is even a Z offset already. If this is all going through, if this is all going through Eddy, I can't understand why there's already a Z offset applied. I think I could still go closer. I honestly think that part of the issue might have been that there's a Z offset that was applied. Like, Eddy might have been spot on, but there was a Z, like right now the Z offset is 0.025 because all of me like removing the offset or changing the Z offset was just removing the value that was already there. So it's like, it's now pretty close to perfect. So I think that that was the issue, is that for whatever reasoning, there was already a Z offset applied. I'd like to get you guys like in here. Hold on. Sorry, I'm failing really hard right now. Let's see. There is if you run the calibration routine. Which calibration routine? Because we ran a bunch. For Eddy? Offset between the ball and surface of the plate. Yeah, it's looking decent enough. I'm going to save the Z offset because I actually do think that it's what I want. Looking to start G-code. I just saved it. God, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying down under. I can delete it completely. I just saved it right now with leaving it at the 0.025 value, but given that it's such a small value, I could just remove it completely and it wouldn't be an issue. Oh, saving the offset doesn't work with Eddy probes. Interesting. Okay. It won't error out if I delete it from the but you're saying it's at the bottom of the config file, right? Like in the green area? Great video on the box turtle. Will you be closing it? Or what will be the next project after this? Thank you, Nick. I was just talking about that earlier. I was like, man, that video took me way longer to put together than I expected just because of how much I really wanted to include, and I still had to clip some stuff. I don't really have plans on enclosing it right now. I don't have much issue with like PLA and ABS. I could see if I was doing a lot more like PETG printing, or even I guess ASA. I feel like Steve jinxed me. I never had issues with it, and then ever since he was like, ASA gets moisture, I've gotten it a couple times. But yeah, I don't plan on enclosing at this point. The next big project we're doing is the massive FISEC, like 2.4 inspired, I don't know, 600 millimeter cubed printer. That's the next big thing. There's like other small projects too. Like I really want to get Milo printing. So I don't know if we'll do a stream of board swapping it or another like chill stream. But yeah, the next big one is that FISEC build. Is it in the slicer profile? Maybe. I assume the offset would get set after Eddy does its probing stuff. If a Z offset is showing in Clipper, it's being provided in your start macro or in the slicer start code. Really? Set bed temp, set hot end temp, if extruder 1, temperature, home, tool check. I don't see anything there that would be causing it. Device, machine, printer.cfg. Got it. So it's not here like so the other place it would probably be then, based off what you guys are saying, would be under macros. There'd be a filament setting? Yeah, the Venture. Yep. I've been watching Kinect stream on it. The documentation is kind of shit. Awesome. That'll be fun. Oops. I don't know. There's not going to be an offset in here then. Or are you saying? Because this is like a bamboo PLA profile, so that's not even provided by them. So I don't think it's coming from the slicer. Sorry, I keep throwing myself off. End print, cancel print, pause, resume, resume wipe. Where is the start print? I don't even see it. Could be at setting override. I don't understand. Where's the print start macro at? Calibrate offsets, crow's nest, Eddy. Bed mesh tap, no. I didn't see it in macros. I didn't see it in printer.cfg. I have no idea where it is. This is how the offset was set. Let's see if I don't hit myself. Ball with mechanical switch. It's looking rough over here. I have a feeling. I actually don't know what would be the cause of that in that corner. Is cooling... is cooling on? Yeah, cooling's on. Oh! We are getting... It feels like we're getting a lot of air leak. Where is that coming from? I wonder if there's an issue with the fan. I do feel a lot of air leaking out. And it doesn't look like it's doing a really good job of cooling it all. Yeah, it's definitely not looking great. I stand corrected, there is not a Z offset parameter, only the one in the... There's not a Z offset parameter, only the one in this config, usually 2. Alright, I'm not sure where it's at or what I need to be looking for. There has to be a section somewhere that does the dock all heads pause. Yeah, I agree. I will look. I'm tripping out right now because the amount of air I feel coming off of this makes me think that there's something off with the fan that's affecting, I think that's what's affecting the cooling. I don't think I've really used much. No, I have. This is like the same kind of blower fan that would be on a like auxiliary fan on a Core XY that's blowing across the build plate. But for whatever reasoning, I just feel a bunch of air blowing out of it, which I wouldn't think should be the case. Yeah, it definitely feels like there's a cooling issue. It's weird to me. I know that this fan was working, but maybe it's just not getting as much air as it should be. Are there any gaskets? There's not. No, there is. It's hard to show this right now. Oh, let's see how the print change goes. Or tool change. Also, it's a two-way fan, so yes. Got it. So yes, it will have exhaust. Maybe I'm just not used to it being external or the amount of air that's coming out of it. We are going to close the giveaway in another minute and a half. So anyone that just got here, if you want to enter in, do so now. Sorry, there's a lot going on. I don't feel like it did. I think it maybe needed to purge a little bit more to get that color started fully. There's definitely going to be some configuration stuff going on. Are the fans possibly pinned backwards, meaning it's moving air in the wrong direction? It feels like it's spinning in the right direction. But it's possible. I almost want to say it's probable. Let me pause this really quick. That doesn't feel... There's air coming out of here, but it is not a lot. Like, considering how big that fan is, I feel like there should be a lot more air coming out of here. Something's definitely off. Let me see if I lower... Let's see, filter fan. It's spinning the right direction, it seems, but something, it doesn't, like, I don't know what is going on, but something feels off. It doesn't feel like the right amount of air is moving. Use a piece of paper? Well, I can do that, or, like, but to show you guys, like, and you can see the filament moving, right? It's definitely moving. You can see the, or I guess you can't really see it because I've got this, but like the filament is blowing in that direction. Like there, it's definitely working. I actually feel, it's weird. I feel a lot of airflow back here. Like right here, I feel a lot of airflow. But up here, I don't know. Could it be a bug where 100 is just 100 out of 256 instead of, I don't know. As long as you save the config after running profile Eddy current calibrate chip Eddy with a paper calculation, it calculates the current for the necessary calculation. Okay. So it was back when I was doing that initial calibration then, and I was like, yeah, that seems fine, because it said you didn't have to be super exact. That's probably when I did that then. Is the hose kinked? It's not kinked. It's laying down, like it goes up and around, but it's not kinked. I wonder how much of it, I'm not gonna do it while I'm printing. Or I'm not gonna do it while it's printing. Okay, I'm gonna close the giveaway and then give anyone filling it out another 60 seconds just to stick with what I said. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Okay. All right, one more minute for anyone that's filling it out. Yeah, something with the cooling just seems off. There's also a layer issue, it looks like, which I don't know if it was from the cooling. I should probably, after this, just play around with getting a decent print out of a single head extrusion. A single head print. God, I can't talk, sorry. Okay, let's do the giveaway. The CPAP is really quiet. Oh, I mean, there's a filter on, so I guess you can't really gauge it, but compared to like the VZ-Bot, it is very, very quiet, yeah. I do have the Big Tree Tech one. Maybe I should install that and see if it moves more air. Okay, so we have got 102 responses. Nice. I have to download this sheet really quick. Yeah, I think I would probably take a little less cooling to have less noise in general. I know that's not the case for everyone. It totally depends on what you're, like if you're just going like as quick as possible for the sake of like a little bit slower but consistency, I would take that any day. The screaming's fun for a little bit, like when you're, I don't know, just showing it off or testing it out and playing around with it, but long term it's too much, man. All right, let me make sure I got 102 people in there. We do. Sweet. Everyone that should be here is here. Alrighty, let's do this. So before we do the giveaway, I wanted to give a thank you to Polymaker for letting us do these giveaways. For anyone that is new here, the way the giveaways work is if you're in, I think it's just USA and Canada. I screw this up every week, but if you're in the US or Canada and you win, you'll get a $35 gift card. And then anywhere else, you get to pick any item on their website up to a $35 value, or any filament on their website up to a $35 value. And then just be on the lookout for me. Usually within 24 hours, I will send you an email that has just a form to fill out along with a unique code that you'll need to be able to submit that form. So yes, big money, no way. So yeah, thanks again to Polymaker. And then if anybody is wanting to support the channel and needs filament, there's links in the description over to Polymaker's website, and a portion of each purchase does support the channel. So people have been using them, and I did want to, I say every single week, but I want to make sure I keep doing that. Thank you to everyone that has been doing that, because it really does help out. So with all that being said, let's do our giveaway. How many times are, oh, I think Jack's coming. Why is this not spinning? Okay, I shuffled it once on accident already. How many more times are we so? Well, I think Jack's coming. If he's coming, I'm gonna let him spin. Big dog! Woo! Come here, buddy. You want to spin the wheel? Jackson, come here. You can spin the wheel, bud. Come here. Come over here. This guy went straight to the desktop. Look at you, Mickey Mouse. You got a diaper on. Come here. Ready? Oh! Hold on. You say, hi, everybody. Hello. You got Mickey Mouse and diapers. Okay, I'm going to let you spin the wheel today. Oh, I'm going to let... Nice. You see yourself? Hi. I'm going to let you spin the wheel today. How many times are we going to shuffle, everybody? Let's do anywhere between 4 and 8. Let's keep it small today. 4 and 8. It's a washer. Look at, watch the printer. Look. Watch. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, we got 3s. I said 4 and 8. You guys are trolls. Yeah, it's printing, buddy. We'll do 7. I don't think I've done 7. And I already did 1 shuffle, so we'll do 6 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can't see that I'm shuffling, but I promise you I just shuffled it. Okay, Jackson. So what you're gonna do, you gotta click the mouse button, okay? Press it. Oh, no, wait, hold on. Right, now press it. Just once. Wait, just once. Woohoo! Petty, I think? Yeah, Petty Rexpin. You are our winner. We said 3 before you said 4 to 8. Oh, got it. Congratulations, Petty. You are our winner. And Jackson really liked the spinning wheel. Was the spinning wheel cool? Did you like pressing the button? Yeah. So congratulations, rigged. Jackson, yeah, Jackson, uh-oh. No, you removed Petty Ruxin. It's all right. I've got it on stream. Where's mom? Is mommy sleeping still?
No.
No?
Awake.
What's that? Awake?
Yeah.
Yeah? All right, bud.
Yeah.
You can stand here for a sec, I guess, and watch. Just don't touch, okay? Because it'll hurt your hand if you touch it, okay? Just look at it. You coming? Yeah, in a minute here. So it's doing the third color. I think. Yeah, it's done all the colors now. So the biggest issues I'm seeing right now in order of operation is one, Jack giveaway second spool. Betty promised Jack pack a vial of candy for rigging. Oh no. Is that cool? Yeah, that's the Modbot robot logo. Yeah. So Z offset I've got to figure out, which everyone, it seems like we're pretty certain that it's going to be in the print start macro, wherever that lives. I will find it when I have time to go through it. The second thing I got to figure out is what's going on with cooling. So someone's saying that, like a few people have said now, that like it's not abnormal for there to be exhaust air coming out of this type of fan, but it feels kind of excessive. So I want to make sure that it's correct and there's not an issue. And then I just need to, yeah, just don't touch it, okay, just look. And then I've got to figure out sort of if the cooling is how the cooling's supposed to be on this right now, I've got to figure out how to optimize around that, which might mean to slow things down or position things differently, but something feels off to me that's outside of this is just the way that it is. And then, is it pretty cool? Yeah, you like seeing it print? And then there's some weird stuff going on with layer stacking we'll have to look at. I mean, for a first, oh, and we dropped the tool head. So that's not great. Hold on. Emergency stop. So we dropped the tool head, and I don't know why, considering it had already done quite a few swaps. Okay, you gotta go with mama now. Daddy's gotta keep working on this, okay? Can you say bye-bye though? Wait, hold on. Say bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody. Oh, I blew a kiss. Thanks, baby. Sad trombone music. Quick tip, you can upload a full clipper zipped config and ask ChatGPT direct questions on where to find something. That is wild. Bye-bye. I'll see you in a little bit, bud, okay? We're gonna call it, oh, it's already, yeah, we're gonna call it pretty soon. What? Where he's at? Yeah, sure. Okay, so let me show you guys. Let me show you guys what this looked like. We're actually gonna end up calling it right after this, and I have a feeling next week's stream will probably be a hangout and play around with this a little bit more. But so you can see the 3 color swaps. Like this one only did the base area here. Then we have the black on the center, and then we have the silver or gray, which is the main one. So obviously, like some issues here, which might mostly be cooling, but I'm not. I mean, the fact that this side looks clean, other than the shift, and not this, makes me think that it probably was cooling. But yeah, it needs work. it needs some definite work. It's weird to not stop on its own without a tool head. Well, yeah, there's no way for it to know. There's no way for it to know that it has a tool head or not, which is something that would be cool if it could be fixed. Like if there was maybe a switch on the hot end or on the tool head that gets compressed when a tool is loaded, so it knows like loaded, and then if it wasn't compressed, it would say, hey, like there's nothing detected. I would think that would be something Clipper could definitely do. But yeah, that's interesting that it dropped. What color was that? That was black, which had been already grabbed quite a few times. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened there. Maybe that means I need to change my docking location a little bit further, so that way it's closer to the magnet when it releases it. I don't know yet. But I think the first thing I'll likely do is switch to just a single color. Well, get the Z offset figured out and switch to a single color print and see if I can get like a relatively clean result. That way I have my baseline, and then I can start playing around with adding in colors and stuff like that. So we'll see. But I mean, considering we didn't even do a single print and just started it up, like I'm not upset, but we've got a lot of room for improvement. And the cooling seems to be the biggest one to me that needs to be figured out. That to me sounds like a clicky switch idea, that if you have the ports for it, shouldn't be too hard to code in. I don't think we have. What, baby? That's my work. My picture? Oh, for work. Got it. The only downside is there's not a toolhead board. Like, the toolhead board is on the toolheads and not on the main unit itself, so I'd have to run extra wires down from here, you know, down. Unless there was a pin on each Nighthawk board and each one had their own switch, but that seems like a lot. I don't want to tackle that. I don't want to tackle. What is this, baby? Thank you, Jackson. Jackson's handing me Filament. Okay, I think we're gonna call it here. My plan originally was to end it at 3 because I didn't sleep much last night and get an hour of power, and so I'm probably gonna try to inhale some food and then see if I can sleep for like 45 minutes before we go to swim lesson. So, it moved, the bed leveled, it printed. I mean, with any build or printer, like, there's always things that can be improved on, but the main, like, I feel like I have a pretty good idea of the main things I want to try to get addressed with this. And yeah, it was exciting to watch it print and watch it do all the tool changes. Just need to run a pair of wires up there. Hall effect sensor would also be cool. Yeah, I do agree that having some form of intelligence as to whether there is a tool head in place could be good. Because otherwise I could see, like, if something fell in the path where it's going to go, it can damage 2 tool heads by crashing them together, not knowing that it wasn't on in the first place, or that there was. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see. I think next week we'll definitely do one more stream on this next week, which will probably be just chill, print, and like play around with some stuff on here, and then we'll likely move on to the 5-sec build. I've just got to get everything figured out in the garage. So yeah, I think at that we will call it for today. Thank you everybody for hanging out. This is our last stream of June, which is wild. So next stream I'll see you all in July, but next week we'll probably be doing the same kind of thing, playing around with this, and hopefully I'll have some updates on the printing and have something cool that we can show off and play around with. So cheers to everyone. Thanks for hanging out. All the comments for all of our new members, our returning members, our gifted memberships. I don't know if there was donations today, but thank you to anyone if you did donate, and to Polymaker for letting us do our giveaway. So I will reach out to the winner either later today or tomorrow. And on that note, I will talk to you all later. There won't be a video this weekend. That box turtle video was just quite the beast. So I'm taking this weekend off, and then next weekend the plan is we'll have the video on the IBIS Tetras, which is the AMS drying upgrade, AMS like dryer mod. So that's what we'll do. All right, y'all, have a wonderful week, and I will catch you guys next time. Cheers. Bye. Jack says bye too. You want to come say bye one more time? Yeah, come here, bud. Come here, big guy. All right, ready? 1, 2, and 3. Okay, say bye-bye, everybody. He farted. He farted. Say bye-bye, everyone. All right, I'm going to end it. Cheers.